all things, and you create all things, and I have nothing to be anxious about. Nothing is happening by chance, and no matter how hados difficult the path, narrow the path gets, it's just a squeezing, a beating out of this flesh of these worldly things, and making us more faithful, and like putting in a den of lions, and having faith. And I thank you, Father, for giving me that faith, that no matter what, that if you create all things, and with faith alone, I have nothing to be anxious about. And just need to do what you did. You sent your son and you sacrificed him. And so that's what we must do. We must make that same sacrifice. So I have picked up more charges, but my judge is Father. They've removed my Second Amendment and my Fourth Amendment right to be secure in my house's papers, persons, and effects, remember? So now I'm facing menacing. I'm not menacing, a menace to society, but how about a menace to the police? So remember, Christ stood against their Halaka and their Hagada. And so by not fortune, because there's no such thing as luck. And if God created all things, there's no such thing as free will. Father gives us self-will, that is idolatry. And if we don't stand against this beast, that is idolatry. So you're not Christ-like if you don't stand against this perverted time, beast system that we live in now. And I praise the Redeemer, that when I stand with Father, that he will be my judge. So Paul is the apostle and 13th, and I born on the 13th date, which I don't celebrate. Again, dates have some man counsel, but Father already wrote, so we'll see what this man counsel does for me. He still works for the bargain. Oops, don't drop the soap. So they're saying that because I told them that I would protect my house and property and would use my Second Amendment right, which I didn't last time, and told them I would, so I was a meek man. So I've already showed that I was meek, and now they've literally taken my right to defend my chickens and my dogs away. So that's okay. I put my faith and I put my all glory to Father, that nothing is being done without, well, he already wrote all things, so how is any of that? Are you questioning that Father doesn't write all things? I could do the easy thing long time ago, right? And not have stood up for my son. But if he hadn't done his hours and done his time, we make mistakes. We all fall. And, Paul, he did things that, I myself as a veteran and a police officer often want to take the easy route. And it's never the easy route. He pours a different measure out on all of us. So according to his will, he'll pour out a just measure. And by his will, I mean, again, that this is I call it afterlife insurance when I'm in this flesh, because there's nothing that that once we are, again, as I try to bring people to word, is that it's the narrow is the way. It's not supposed to be easy. If you're not standing against the perversion, frowarding of this perverted law in society, according to, might be in your measure, just your own household, and that's your measure, but you still have to be in that narrow way. I really wish the things I wouldn't have done in the past had been in law enforcement and had, again, been trained in all these things that these men with these guns, with this large, excessively large amount of... How about that farm vehicle going probably 49... we got Kevin here. I guess he's got something going over there. 55 miles an hour. 55 and stay alive. Well, Sammy, live stream. Sammy Hagar over here. I can't drive 55. All right. Anyways, thank you, Father, for sending Kevin to give me a ride home. Safe passage back to to the farm, but I have to bring up, what's happening is all by Father's will. They've used what I've already warned you now on this channel is called a red flag gun law. What do you know? That's Trump's law. Uh-oh. What's up with Pastor Revelation and Trump? All right. The final shofar, baby. How's that sound to you? The great and dreadful day of the Lord. So that's all that matters to me. It's about a wedding. It's not about this world. It's about being married to the word and not of the world. So my marriage is not of anything that it's these worldly things are going to test all of us, brothers and sisters. That's just part of beating the flesh out of us, that the ones he loves, he does that. God only beats the people he loves. God only loves just a small part. He's an all-loving God, but he doesn't love everybody. So we're not to choose, and that's not who's in the narrow way and who he put in to the broad way. It's already prognosco from the foundation of the world. He already knew these things, and I give thanks to the Father that he gave me the will and the test of this flesh to go through another few days laying on my back in jail and being arrested for menacing the police. So I'm not a menacing society. Never said that anybody outside my borders I was going to hurt anybody. I've already shown that I was meek and not weak, and they assaulted me, and that's okay. I'm still standing here, and if Father didn't want them to hit me in the face, and then it wouldn't happen that way. I'm sure nobody will get away with anything. Father, again, if he pours out the measure on those who are not in the narrow way, then the wages of sin is death. So we've all made mistakes, and I know that most of these people are just yes men, tyrant pigs. I don't like people who enforce commerce law, and so I'm never going to stop standing against this federal beast. Yeah, the federal beast. I deal with these little local things. Just because my son didn't do some community service hours, I get swatted, and all these other things that I'm dealing with. But remember, I stand in a higher power. This beast system for me is much larger. I understand. I'm not commerce. I'm operating in the Father, in redemption. My service is not in the capacity of the world. I operate in a private capacity. I don't do this capital letter B system. I'm not part of it. I refuse to. I've tried to point people to this way. I don't operate in capital letters. I'm not a capital letter corporation. And so if I suffer for that too, I'll never, ever forget their Gregorian pagan calendar 12/29/24, where I subrogated the merchant number, the old law, to the queen. All this pay and don't drop the soap law, remember Rocking Horse Bob. I'm accountable for everything I've said. I said I would protect my home. I have that right, but they stripped me now of that right. So, they came and took guns, all the guns, 2 guns that I had. I was going to shoot anybody. I didn't the first time. I didn't plan on it, but I had that right. So we'll see. And I've warned you about this. Extreme risks. Now, Trump's red flag gun law allow them to come take my 2 guns, so I can't defend my dogs or my chickens. Pretty sad I can't even defend the farm. So my plan is to ask for protective custody, and my Father will protect and provide. He sent a man, but we'll see. Father wrote everything. His name is Paul, and I find that rather intriguing, how Father's done all these things by the number, like spending 3 days in jail for I self-bailed out. So, thank you, not by self, by Father's will provided. His will be done. So was able to secure the funding from the sale of that truck that I sold to a cop. So I find that rather ironic. And I had my own moment and I get to enjoy it with Kevin's over here, that a cop's money bailed me out of jail. I mean, it was mine, but I find it ironic with the money I was given was kind of went through the cop's hands. So the sale of the truck, and he got a really nice truck. I'm sure he's happy. And I don't think that truck's ever been off-roaded. So it's really in good condition, and I'm sure he's happy, and he has my number, and he called me. So But I told them they were crooked. I thought maybe the money was gone for a minute, but it was here. So that'd have been, hey, I told you them. But you will see. I said they are very this is right. Okay, yeah, I know they went after me under the extreme red flag gun laws without a trial, removed my Fourth Amendment right and Second Amendment right. My right to be secure in my house's papers, persons, and effects. That is my Fourth Amendment. Without warrant, as you've seen, when they accosted my body, I told them, you need to show me the warrant. Well, guess what, guys? I've not seen that warrant to this day at the time of my arrest. At the time of my arrest, remember, if you watch the live stream, it's 8 minutes. I said, before you accost my body, my Miranda rights, you need to show me the warrant, show cause, and show me the warrant. You have to show cause what crime, and so now they say I missed a court date, and that was a failure to appear. And I'm not so concerned about the failure to appear because I, for 9 months, have only had one court date a month. I've never had two. And I brought that up to them in court last time. The attorney said, take kind of stuff. And I said, no, we're going to talk about this. I've only had one where did I just have 2 in 1 month? When I was being arrested, that's why there was holding off. I'm like, wait a minute. And then supposedly some extreme, so the warrant, they did the whole silly, but they keep backing themselves into a corner. It's father who keeps making them stumble and trip on their own bad policing, because now I'm extremely at risk. And they have removed my right to be secure in my house's papers, persons, and effects, Fourth and Second Amendment. They violated my Sixth Amendment right to fair and speedy trial, to call witness in my favor. I'm sure this 2-day trial joke that they had set up last time was definitely not. I am anticipating a little bit, Father's will be done. Paul Palm put it in God's hands. Palmer is the attorney that stepped into someone from outside the county, from a different county. And I explained to him that this case is 5 years old. And I explained to him that Donahue is one of the largest attorneys in the case, or in the state, excuse me. And he said he didn't have the bandwidth. And he said, he cleared out all his cases or something for the year and had only some, but had plenty of bandwidth. So we'll see. I don't know if he knows there's thousands of hours of live stream, and every time that I've had conversations, even in how many times I've said that I had the right to defend my house. They've already violated and came in here and didn't even Mirandize me after they arrested me. Instead of looking into Elijah's 180 hours, any of these things, 10 months it is now, guys, 10 months we're going on where they came in here and violated and assaulted me and took my and arrested and my illegally detained my daughter. They did not show cause on a warrant. It was not listed on a warrant, and arrested her like they did to me, but she wasn't on the warrant. I have the warrant. There is not a warrant that exists with Adriana Massey's arrest. So that's a kidnapping, and that's an assault. And as attempted murder, as pointed out, you hit somebody in the face, and that meant to be thrown into a room like a smoke. Did they take my concussion grenade? Or the smoke grenade? They probably took their own. Dang, I lost my little smoke grenade, huh? Because they would have took that as it's not even live. But the one, remember, you guys, it's on film, so they have it. It'll go into evidence. But that one that I kept showing you, 5 of those through the window. That'd be ironic if they did take that, wouldn't it? All right. But anyway, so they have now removed my right. I have no Second Amendment right anymore. I have no Fourth Amendment right to be secure in my house's papers, persons, effects without warrantless search or seizure. They have now come accosted my body, as you've seen on that time. I requested a supervisor. Yep. So that's kind of a little bit of a department. Yeah. And no, if I request a supervisor and you need to show cause, and they had to show me the warrant, and they didn't even show me. So, and actually, I believe they sat on this property for 3 or 4 hours before they even obtained a warrant to enter to the property. So, all of it's being watched by Father. So, even after anything, if the whole world came to an end right now,
I watched.
They would all have to pass through Father's judgment anyway. So, I'm not concerned about some silly little.
Yelled at the dogs, told them to be good.
it took them a few hours to get out here and get the actual paper. And remember, we'll give it to you at the time of arrest. I've still not seen that warrant, until I showed up. Actually, here it was left at the house. So they didn't give it to me when I left out of jail, which should have been given to me then, right? But maybe I have counsel this time. So anyways, we'll see. I don't like being thrown in a jail cell, but that's if you're not Christ-like, if you don't get thrown in jail. No, just kidding. You don't have to get thrown in jail, brothers and sisters. Remember, I said he'll pour out a just measure on all of us, but you need to be standing against this and kind of being thrown in prison. And maybe if in your life, you're the only one that's in the narrow way and taking up your cross daily. Are you taking up your cross daily? Because that's all that matters, remember, to me in the wedding. So none of this it's all spiritual to me. This flesh is going to suffer. I already know that. So, yeah, that's what you're supposed to be doing. None of this matters, right? Afterlife insurance, here, you got insurance. It's in the word. That's where my insurance comes. I am assured that if I suffer for his Shem's sake, Matthew 10:34-39. Read it, the backbone of this ministry. So, thy kingdom come, that will be done. I didn't ask for this. I like I said, I could have just gone my other way. My son told me, don't do this, Dad. You don't need to stand up for me. I'll get this taken care of. Go on the road, take that money or the gold and silver and go on the road. Take the ministry on the road. Go get your books. Go do your thing. It's bigger than that, son. So I chose to stay, and this community needed me. And so we're going to expose here, I believe, with this Paul Palmer, even though he is a part of their, the defender side of the system. He was rather, said familiar that there's quite a bit of corruption and knows that he's familiar with it. So I believe fathers will be done no matter what. He already wrote all these things, so I have nothing to be anxious. I do have to tell you, we had, there's 6 guys in there. I had 5 guys humming on the word. It was a beautiful thing, It was got to share the word. It was in there the right amount of days. I believe the word was said to, there was a couple of young men struggling, gave some information about he tried to kill himself and ran into a pole at 120 miles an hour and still alive. And talk about it, and he's really struggling. So I think Father wanted me there to give him he needed the word. So nothing happens for chance. There's no such thing as luck, and I'm blessed to know that because it gives me the endurance. As he understood too, that we have to endure to the end. He said he knew that, but he had forgotten it to be saved. So it's a blessing to spend time with those men in there that were, even the guy that Gavin went to jail. He's like, yeah, the cops saying he went one way and you were going the other way. You're like, you can't be doing that. You were the wrong, oh man, oh my gosh, what a blessing. He only came in at the last second. I could imagine the conversation. It's something 2 years ago, these guys' charges were dropped or something, but the contempt, they didn't drop off all the other charges, but except for the contempt. And then they brought him in 2 years later or something. They do some crazy things in this county. So, the Halaka and the Hagada were part of the perverted law. I encourage you to again seek. Some of the links are being dropped. I apologize. I'm having a hard time reading. My eyes hurt a lot, guys. From my back I only slept about 3 hours on probably being in there for the 3 days. So I don't sleep much. I can't. That's my kryptonite. Is not a comfortable place to lay my back because how hammered my back is. But I'm still upright. I actually ate 2 of the gummies, so I'm glad I have some medicine, some cannabis to get in my system a little bit because it helps my receptors stop firing off those shooting pains. But Father kept me, it's just the long nights, laying in that. But it's okay. I've spent more time, and Father sent his son to fulfill all flesh and fulfill the perversion, the perverted, frowarded halakha. Know what he did, know who he is. He ain't some sit down one day Jesus on a church pew. He's a 7-day suffer. Some of us suffer more than others. He'll pour out a measure on all of us. I didn't ask for this measure, but I have to fulfill what he said. He made me a pig and a person that's worked for this government and worked for in law enforcement, all these things. I understand the wrongs I've done. So I remember the thief on the cross. I remember Paul was a mass murderer of Christians. And so he sent me Paul, this attorney. His name is Paul Palmer. Maybe I put it in God's hands. Palmer. Interesting, Father, these men you said. So nothing is happening by chance. Nothing is happening by free will. I hope not by my own. That's self-will and pornea, and that's not, I'm not into that. It's not, there's nothing in this world. So what I'm going to seek, hopefully at this time, is protection. And I know Father will lead the narrow way to wherever I need to be. He'll put my 10 toes wherever he chooses. He's my captain, so he's steering the ship. So, but I'm going to request protective custody, and I already have through this attorney, and I've sought this change of venue. And I'm going to ask to be left. And now they've taken my right of Second Amendment and my right of Fourth Amendment to be secure, and I was defended a constitutional republic, or so I thought, and I'd like to already, as you've told you on this channel, remove myself from the United States. And I know I'm sure I can appear in court, and if not, I'll figure it out. But I'm seriously going to be threatened by staying here on this property, and I would not live in fear. I'd live here every day, and I'd do exactly the same thing I did. I would not fear that some man's going to come down my driveway just because they took their 2 guns that I had. My big gun collection, right? I only said I had 2, and I said I would use them to defend myself if they did it illegally again. I can't just keep letting them come assault me. Father said be meek, and under this New Testament, as I've taught, their first evidence was that, if backed into a corner, I would strike. So I didn't do it the first time. So what I do it the second time, I'm not concerned about any of these things ever using a weapon. I have that Fourth Amendment right. God would decide in that moment, not me. I don't walk in this world. This world is not, obviously, I'm not like most men. He didn't make me shaped. Many are called, but only Gas are chosen, brothers and sisters. I didn't ask for this. I really am not comfortable knowing, again, that, things I've done in the past, I don't know how I could ever be redeemed for things that are, but who am I to say? I'm condemning myself. So I fall short too of my own, I'm just glad that I know the word, because it's the only thing that in my own walk here that keeps me upright, knowing that this afterlife insurance that he's given me, faith that my belief by walking in his, girded in his service, that he steers my ship. It's just flesh, and that my flesh will suffer. It's just part of being the bride. And I can't say for certain, but one of these people is not biblical. I like to stick to things to biblical, but this does come from a viewer of this platform, 40, 50,000 people. And again, I was talking with Kevin on the ride home. I apologize for this cursing, brothers, sisters, on this channel. I don't know, Brother Jim would probably not like it, but Brother Jim didn't get, the measure that I get. Brother Jim was who he was. He wasn't a prior pig and a cop and a prior law enforcement officer and SWAT, trained and all these things. And Brother Jim has his measure. So, but as I was telling, I'm not, because it's not under this New Testament. And even, it's like I was going back through the live stream at the time of my arrest, when that one officer, we won't name them out because they seem to be, they'll take your rights away if you call them out and use your First Amendment. They will. They'll take your Second Amendment and your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your houses, papers, persons, and effects. They'll take your body, accost your body without warrant. They kidnap my daughter. They'll assault you, arrest you, throw away you in their jail, and not even look at the evidence in the case. you're guilty until proven innocent under this corporation. This red flag Trump gun law that they now extreme gun risk, extreme order, as I've been telling you, this is called the red flag gun law that Trump has put. Take them first and then prosecute you later. That's how they did this. They came and arrested my guns. Yep. So, and then took my right. I can't buy them or own them or any ammo or anything like that. So my Second Amendment, and but it's okay, because remember, I don't care. I've never cared to I don't care. I just want to farm. I didn't ask for them to come here and do what they did. I'm just trying to stand for my sons. None of this is going to affect the core of who I am and what I understand. And so when I'm in those moments and I get a little excited and I start cursing and stuff, it just, if this is the last, if it's my filthy mouth that offends people, well, Christ didn't stand against the law and say nice things back then, although he didn't curse. I'm very glad that when that cop asked me, and I said, it's because you're a corrupt pig or whatever, and I cursed. I'm not going to curse now. I apologize. I'm having a hard time reading your stuff. I'm not keeping up, but good to see everybody in here. I appreciate it. I want to come in and give you guys an update, because I know this is a ministry and there are a lot of people come here to sup in the word. And I get with my filthy mouth in here, but do people come in here to learn and get shoved over to Brother Jim and don't ever have to come back here again? And that was the base core of this ministry and fellowship anyway. So if you can get past my filthy mouth when I stand up to this corrupt commerce pig corporation, 1229-24 is going to show that there was a man who made sure that he did separate himself from this merchant number. And I'm not operating in commerce. I'm always operating in private capacity. And I take my private time to sup with Father, and he tells me to be in this world and be girded in my service. So through Shiloh and the redemption of the bride, I know that I'll go through tribulation. He sent his apostle Paul, and now I have a attorney named Paul. So put it in God's hand. His name is Paulman. It's Paul Palmer, huh? Paul Palmer. Interesting. Nothing is by chance, and I'm thankful so much to still, no matter what happens to me, I'm still blessed to have the ministry and still blessed to know that there is witness to this. I'm not standing in this alone, and Father's always watching, and through the redemption of Shiloh, and this his bride, those that are redeemed for sin. And the sin that I suffer is the sin of the world, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that. Narrow is the way that leads to the straight gate. Broad is the way, that's the gate, that's the wide gate. The broad ways, that's not who I am. I don't care about this world and all this fame and fortune. I care about standing against it and showing you that we're not supposed to be partaking in this Babylonian beast system that is just revised under a corporation now, back to the old ways, and they've enslaved people to this system. And I don't live like that. That's why you see cords running up. I live off the grid, and I don't live like this people most do, and I choose to live as least as I can in this world, to not like I'm worried about my carbon footprint. Christ was not about the things, and remember, he had a man of many things. And so that's probably what I'm going to be requesting at this time is, through the protection of the Father, he will create and right all path, the narrow way, whatever it is, the ellipsis, tribulation, suffering. I'm not going to stop. Nothing's going to just get better. I don't expect anything in this, life, in my life, to ever turn to a point where it's just going to be all peaches and cream. Life should be suffering until you find that ending point. Then you got to finish the strongest if you're going to win the race, because it's a long race. Yeah, he said you got to endure to the end. Remember? Don't forget this ministry where we're trying to teach you here about this way, narrow, in this path, and this. So hopefully, again, if people can look through this, they'll see that what is learned on this channel is that he appoints all of us to a different measure, and on this channel, you're getting to be blessed to sup with those in the narrow way, and hopefully you're seeing a man that is standing against the perversion of this modern day commerce, because many men, most will not. There's a reason why they call people, or they'll go down as the silent majority. And they didn't stand up, and they had their chance, and they didn't put their flesh out there, like he says in Matthew 10:34 through 39, about how we have to give this flesh. And it's not about flesh, physical flesh. That's where we fail it. So it's a test. You know what I'm saying? It's a test. And we're all going to be put through that if we're in the narrow way. So you're not going to get away. If it's broad and it's easy, then that's sit down, fun day, one day, get forgiven, and don't have to go through no repentance or rebuke Jesus. No, just get forgiven for whatever, or sit down one day a week. It's every day that we suffer. So once again, I can't, when you look at the charges, this extreme risk is because I'm an extreme risk to pointing out their beast system. So I'm thankful today that after I got out of custody, that right about that time that this attorney for this, whatever, he's not from this county. And I made that very clear that I'm going to make that very clear with him. I know you work for the bar. You work for the chief of finance. This guy will never take a deal. Don't even say that to me, or you can just go ahead and you can put in another slip here. We'll have another hearing where you guys will violate my right to fair trial and speedy trial by not allowing me to remove my attorney, not fire an attorney. I got to pay for attorney that I fire. Studenberg, freaking, the guy's a stooge is what he is, telling me in open court that he wants me to fire him. You can't fire an attorney you don't pay for. These people have no accountability, brothers and sisters. In this case, it's the complete opposite. It doesn't even make any sense. So, but that's what lets me know that Father's will is being done here. It's beating all the odds. It's impossibilities that seem, these people have gone from assaulting me to now removing my right to tell them by using my mouth that if they come here and try to do what they did last time, that I would protect myself, that I would shoot them. So whatever. Do whatever. Now I'm a menace to police, not to society. I'm not, and others. Remember, John Mogul came here, an investigator. He's a pig too, person in government working for this corporate beast system. Said, "Oh yeah, we're forced to take it. I'm the attorney, Dan Spencer." That dude's a clown too. No accountability. All these people work for this system. We're not paying attention to everything they've done has been on record. But I do believe at this point in time that hopefully this Paul Palmer is going to be able to put this stuff on record. Again, I talked to this, man that works for the chief of finance, this Paul, the two Pauls. Isn't that ironic? Well, Paul, the district attorney for the beast corporate chief of finance, and then Paul, who works for the chief of finance. See, I'm not sure how far this attorney will take it. So what I've asked already is for a change of venue. So and I've already requested this, guys, because this case checks every block for what a change of venue is, and I put this in open court. Many times it's been on record. This case it's unbelievable. I wish you guys could see it all. I mean, there's thousands of hours of streaming on this channel alone. That's evidence against the state of Oregon and against the county of Lake County and against now God is out and exiles. And that's the day that is I believe for God's salvation. Okay, Ray, God is the ultimate judge. Yeah, that's right. But let me teach you something here, Ray. Maybe I'll take a pause for the cause just to teach, because we normally will address the trolls in this channel too. This is a beautiful channel. It's not like any other YouTube channel. So it's definitely not Grace and Truth. You better get over there and see. God's a title, by the way. Who is God? I don't know who you're talking about. God. Sovereign. Hey, God's sovereign. Yep, that is God is sovereign. That means he's the only one that writes the law and created all things. Hey, all right. Hey, somebody who's reading. Fiance who's undergoing felony. Oh yeah, darn, throwing in front of these. All crimes in America are crimes of commerce, Ray. Just so you know, there's no actual judicial law being practiced here in an Article 3 court under the Title 18. See, remember these Title 18? Yes. You know anything about Title 18? That's what your fiance is being charged with. If you look at her charges, you don't need to give me the whole whatever the felony. I don't need any information, period. Don't give any, please. Stop now. No, I know you're not going, but it's a revised statute, and that statute is for commerce or corporations. And I'm not a statute. Like, I'm still here. Thank you, Father, by only his writing from the foundation of the world. Yeah, that's it. You know, you can't give it any other. That's all. That's why I'm here. So anyways, they're not operating in an Article 3 court, and they're not operating under any revised statute after the corporation is what they are. These are corporate laws, codes, mandates, ordinances, and revised statutes. Revised statute is criminal code, not code. Code is for a corporation. So they get you to admit that you're some capital letter. So I wasn't arrested here for this example, and they know this, and they go off and on in this, and they make silly little things, but I was arrested under this capital letter name here. When arrested, I said my name is Revelation. Mine was Apocalypse. So under the original arrest under this case. But I'm not part of this commerce corporation where they make these revised statutes after the original constitutional republic, which was the original House, Congress, and Senate. Not by executive orders, serfdom. You can't come on the king's land. No executive orders are lawful under the Constitution, repugnant. So anybody who enforces these or goes by this as part of this beast, go along with it, and you'll partake. Those bowls of cups of wrath will be poured out whoever fornicates with these nation. This beast it system, neuter gender it. You might want to get with the times. It'll be digital in this case, Mr. Stinky Musk and his little satellite system. Little eye in the sky. Oh yeah, I don't like Pastor Revelation. All he exposes Mr. Chump and his millimeter waves, huh? Anyways, it don't matter. I think they got all that evidence of me and Custy when I go there, hanging out doing all this. Dude, that guy's like, can I take that home with me? We were doing no. This guy wanted to take home all the notes. It was good. No, we had a good time there. It was a blessing. It was very hard on my back. Yeah, cool. All right, Kev. Thank you for Kevin for being in the chat with us tonight. Kevin's here, and by the glory, I have a man who's willing to stand and being targeted too, guys. Hopefully you'll see this. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, they told me to fill up my gas tank and hit and leave.
They told Kevin to fill it. They're trying to intimidate him now out here to get your gas tank full, putting it on full, get it on full, and get out of town.
It's on his body cam. That's what he told me.
And he's got it. So
well, why don't you just fill up your gas tank?
FOIA request. So we'll make a targeting. This is a targeting case, guys. This is truly them targeting Elijah.
I said, no, I think I'll just go over to my property right over here and watch you guys.
That was a good call. Yeah, they couldn't say any shit about that. Can't block the easement, huh? They drove on my property. So, but anyways, nothing's happening by chance. I don't believe any of this is free will on my own. Hopefully I'm not trying to, I have nothing to gain here. I suffer for my later, my treasures of heaven after I die. You know what I'm saying? My treasure is not of these worldly things, but of after death. So I wish no death upon no man. They've got this, I'll read it to you guys. So we make it more evidence. This is an evidentiary stream. So everything's evidence, right? When you become the evidence, right? No. I already told you, somebody should wrote the movie. Could have got this over a long time ago. Somebody went and talked to somebody, but by God's writing, you couldn't have done it. God's will be done. So, whatever. I said what I said. I said I would protect my home if they came here illegally again and not let them assault me. And so now they've taken my 2 weapons that I have, and they didn't find a big cache of weapons or anything like that. I had the 2 that I said. And, I had some extra rounds and all that stuff was sitting out that I had. So, and I wasn't even, not like that. I'm saying most of it wasn't in reach or anything like that. And I did have Not that much ammunition. I said I had plenty of ammunition for missing, but I don't miss. If you want to look at my DD-214, bang, bang, head, chest, all that. I know what I said. Remember, multiple times. I probably said it 50, 60 times. Please stop and, don't come here and assault me again. You already did it once illegally. It will go into a court. So, of hopefully change of venue, and it will go into appellate court. I already told this attorney today, guys, too. I only didn't get to spend that much time with him, but whatever. Kevin was a witness. I don't think I was overly worldly. It was the weekend. He said something about his kids, and I respect. He's going to meet him an hour and a half or something. We're going to go have some burritos before court, and thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So hopefully this will go a little bit higher, and I've now asked for protective custody and change venue. This case can't be tried here. It meets and checks every block to have what is called change of venue. If somebody in the public's life is in jeopardy, now my life, they've stripped me of my right to protect even my animals. Remember, they're the ones who ran over all this, all my animal fencing and all this stuff, to keep all these animals separate out here. And, now I can have my animals get loose through all this. It's not the way it was. And I'm still rebuilding everything that they did from the first time. And I don't care about the property for that, but that right to even keep my animals, secure, so they don't wander out now into the field and the coyote gets them, chickens. And remember, this still is it was a farm for many years. I operated this, and it's full operating, with what I've done out here. So that whole right to do any of that has been stripped from me now. I can't even protect my animals. If some animal come just eat up all my chickens in one night or something. And so I don't think this America is safe for me anymore. I've already explained that on this channel, so it shouldn't be news when they look for the evidence that I'm going to be asking for protective custody for myself and Kevin, because I believe he's been targeted. He bought this property next to him, and he's already being targeted. It's quite plain to see. So what I'm going to ask is to be removed from the country, and if not, then we'll figure it out. But something's going to have to give here on this case, because it's going to get looked at. I'm sure of it. I know that there's a different attorney. It's just going to take some eyes out of this county to look at this, and this attorney is not from this county. Now, Phil Studenberg wasn't, but Kevin was my witness. Thank you, Father, for sending Kevin today, that the attorney had a bit of confidence, that he knows about corruption and understood a little bit about what I was saying, what was going on up here. I've already made my mention. I don't run from things. I brought Elijah here. We didn't go on the run. Remember, this isn't running from anything. I was already looking at property in Ecuador. It is a constitutional republic. And I'd like to ask for protective custody out of the country and be taken somewhere I can be videoed, all of these things. I don't think I need to stay in this country to be a part of the case. It's probably one of the largest cases. It's going to expose many levels. Today, I was very beside myself and almost started crying on the phone that I let my phone that you guys are on be taken and given over to the police. And I reminded myself of that I can't ever let that happen again, because this has those people who came to me who were suffering in this county from the police targeting that I was pointing out that was obviously going on in this county, not just to me, but many others. And I turned that phone over, and they could have lost, I don't know how, whatever. And I haven't even gone on there to see, but I probably should do that after this stream to make sure that those people who reach forward to me. Now, I didn't move much forward because I was hoping something would move a little bit faster in the case. But once they come back, and I'm hoping once these people who wrote me had some stories that they told me, then I'm not going to share their information. It's quite chilling what these cops have done out here to people, and the bullying and the harassment and just any law. They just do whatever they want out here. They run over anybody like a steamroller, and most people just lay down and take a bargain. So there's your first, Commerce Queen's Law merchant number. They bargain with those clerks, like thank you, Father, for this channel. 122924, we subrogated that merchant number and challenged the judicial capacity of Clerk Vanderberg, Dave Vanderberg, and told him he's not operating in an Article 3 court under the original Title 18 statutes. So this is not lawful. None of this is lawful. They got me under their merchant, and that's maritime. I'm not part of that. I don't operate in some commercial capacity. I only operate in a private capacity. I'm a teacher, I'm a pastor, and I'm a minister. And he said we must suffer and we must stand against this. And because I know this law, because I was one of these tyrant pigs, I have to stand against it. That's my measure. Yours is not that. That's fine. You better be standing up to the people around you going, hey, we don't celebrate holidays, right? We don't go and do birth dates, right? This is the perversion of the Agape. Under this one, we don't celebrate nothing because all we do is froward these things. Nope. No, we don't. No. John F. Kennedy Day, no president. No, none of these things. Froward, you know what the word froward means? Yeah, and then they'll throw you in your little prison in your own life. They'll separate you from the family because you don't want to celebrate and go take mom to go get the bloomin' onion at the Outback or something. What's wrong with you? You some kind of Jehovah's Witness or something? Yeah, they'll imprison you for the rest of your family. And you got one of those in the room? I know we got them in the room, brother, sister. You know what I'm saying? My measure is not yours. You weren't a SWAT. It's trained, certified, all this prior veteran pig in the Army. Just things that I've done so holy. That's probably the measure why now I can stand against this and understand that, what a constitutional republic is. And that's why I'm asking passage to a constitutional republic. I thought that's what I was defending. I guess I was wrong. Well, he said, come out of her, my people. So I'm trying to get out of here. And I'm asking for protective custody. So anyways, it's an evidentiary stream, just so you know. Nothing's going to change. I'm not going to come in here and be something different. So now I have more charges. My charges are menacing the police and harassing them and hindering their persecution and prosecution of my son in this case, but the whole county, the whole state. They sent a state police out here to try to just eliminate a man. The evidence quite clearly shows that. So it didn't turn out that way. So I told them, if you come out and do that again, I'm going to protect myself. So they came and removed my right to protect myself. They removed my guns, arrested me in town. You want to know why? Because I flipped off the police. That's why I was arrested. No, I was arrested because they had a warrant. But so I didn't have to drive in town, and I knew I probably shouldn't drive in town. And I asked Kevin after, and he had a hunch too. So Kevin's the one who drove me. And yes, I'm not happy with their 180 hour. Don't look into any 180 hour anything. 10 months. What about 180 hours? How many times do you think the word 180 hours was said in these last thousands of hours of live streaming? How about the first 240 some hours how many times was, look at this, guys. They came in and searched the house today. Look at that. Look at what they had to look at. No, seriously. Thank you, Father, for such a blessing. This is,
Oh, I covered part of it up.
But see that? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, So I invited him over. I have the right. So I talked to a couple of the jail guards. They're like, yeah, they know. They're like, yeah, you can do that. That's, they're not beat. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That way they didn't, like I said, that way they didn't come to the house, and I had to use my right to protect myself. And that's, sorry, I'm a little overwhelmed here. I'm only going on 3 hours sleep, guys. And I took 2 gummies. So, let me have a sip of coffee. I was drinking, little coffee packets, and it took, 50 flushes and with both toilets going, and both of those in the shower 100 times to get warm enough to make kind of, hey, they got ramen there now. Soup, they got ramen. That's cool. Elijah Werner spent 180 hours with no soup, no ramen. Put that on the record. Elijah Werner spent 180 hours. Elijah Werner spent 10 and a half months in Lake County jail with no ramen. Poor young man. That was kind of his thing, too. Poor kid. He's a good young guy. I'm hoping you guys at the sea at the time of arrest, I made that clear, too. I want to tell you that, too, now. I don't know what Marshall has to do with this, but I don't believe Marshall is being very truthful of anything. And if you heard at the time of arrest, I brought up Marshall. So this had to be picked forward, guys. You know, maybe I wouldn't have brought up Marshall then or something like that. I don't know. I know Father leads me in these times when I'm in these situations because this is what we're supposed to do. We see perversions of the law. We're supposed to stand up and call it out. Do not partake in unfruitful works of darkness. Rebuke them. Put the light on them. And that's what I do. That's what he makes me do. Remember, our measure is all different. So I hope you are, you know, according to his will, those that he will call out that are Christ-like will be standing up. Remember, in your own measure, we all are given a different measure. So, oh man, it's so good to be with my puppies. They did good. They acted good. They didn't bite the anything because they're good dogs. So they wouldn't hurt the cops or anything. Sucks that those SWAT members definitely would have shot them if I probably would have that day. They were definitely coming here to kill, and because they didn't get rid of pastor won't shut the fuck up revelation. Oh, let one slip. They can't take my First Amendment from me, brothers, sisters. My right, God will fight all my battles. I'm going to use no weapons on anybody. I didn't the first time when they came here with 25 men. So I don't live in fear. Yeah, I'm glad Father creates all things, brother, sister. I truly am. If I didn't know that Father created all things, then I would be anxious, and I would fall into this flesh, and to the daily stumbles, but to the bigger thing, and try to get out of here, because it's too hard. But it's a big measure, but he will pour out a measure to whoever did those things that were not right to me. He will right all those wrongs in my life and all the pain that he will heal all that. And just being with him without flesh is what I hope you guys could understand. That's the most, if you guys don't understand something, I don't know if this ministry has conveyed that, because I feel like many times I say things and people, I feel like Brother Jim sometimes. I don't mean to go there, but I'll say things. It's like, I don't feel like anybody, not you guys, but like, I've gone over that a bunch of times, are you not under, we keep going through, but some of these more modern, things. Obviously, Brother Jim is very refined with the gospel, and this is the same way in our world. This is the gospel. To stand against the perverted law is the gospel. To suffer for his Shem. Shem was the law, and if they perverted this day the law, in my case, I have an understanding. You don't. I know things that are not, most people or many are called, but only gods are chosen, brothers and sisters, for these times. So that's why I have to suffer no matter what and go through this will to endure to the end, to sozo, to have to be lived from beginning point to an ending point, healed. In the end, I told you he will heal all your pains that you've ever had, these aches of this world, the long suffering of a marathon. You go through even if you've trained, it's a long race. It doesn't come without some. Hopefully this ministry has taught you, we've got to suffer, and we've got to finish strong. And like Kevin and I were sitting there earlier after having a burger, after eating jail food for a few days, like this, it don't take long. I don't know. What was our timer? I think we've timed this little timer here before, but like these sands that, our days, little stupid, what is that? Soap opera days of our lives, so every grain of sand, is just in this life, it's not like, and then what's so beautiful is this represents that eternal life that people don't really understand, that eternal eight, that people don't realize how time is an illusion. Have I told you, you guys are, been played with, and you think that time is not something that it is. Time is something completely different, because in a time of a different time, where you're going to come to a time where you come to the end of time, there's always going to be a reset, as is above and so is below. So they will drop, and at the end, you'll notice when you reach that ending point, they start going faster because of the less of this weight. This is almost the reverse of what Brother Jim teaches us, to keep cutting off that flesh. And as we get thinner and thinner and thinner, we do less and less of these things. And then we're coming into these days we're at right now, brothers and sisters, where we get towards the end. And if he didn't shorten the days, no flesh would survive. And we're definitely in those days. I hope you understand. We are definitely in those days where those times are funneling through that narrow way. And we're coming to that point, where I'm not calling out a time. Because remember, I'm trying to tell you, time and death is an illusion. It just keeps turning over and over. This is why this represents something that most people don't have a brain to even understand, because they think there's time and they think there's death, and when that is the farthest from the truth. Aletheia. It is. And if you can't understand that, then you're not going to get to be with Father without flesh. That's the wedding. I hope you know. It is. If you understand that, you'll just be as clear. Not some transgender Isabel ball god is a bell, right? So we must suffer. We must go through these things, but hopefully when we walk this rock, we're a testament of this will, under this new living will that he put us under. Again, this race, when we live in this third dimension, rock from the sun, right? Kevin and I were having a good conversation at the burger, man. We were starting to talk about the spinning ball camp. We were churching in there. Kevin makes sure everybody knows about the word and the program.
I was trying to be quiet.
So he can't. Yeah, Kevin's like me. Can't shut Kevin up. So, that's good. We're like I said, Kevin's like 98% what people probably say he's crazy, because these people are on this paradigm now that if you don't believe what they believe, you're wrong, when it is what they believe. And it's all these other things too, this divide thing, this whole paradigm. So he's pretty over the target, a couple things, but they say that about me too, right? So can't get it all right. It's not like about being right or wrong, but definitely over the target, so to speak, with this program that they have everybody under this, again, this interlacing us with this worldly things and these earthly things.
Android? Are you an Apple?
Are you, which one are you? In Android? Who's your personal Jesus? Android or Apple? You carry this around with you, you ask
Who
it all.
your name?
So it's part of their system, interlacing us with this beast system by overtaking the word with things of the world, not accepted in society anymore. Probably the farthest thing from the world right now would be the aletheia. I only see perversion, truly. I mean, it's hard to find. So that's why I truly feel blessed to have the understanding of the wedding and what that's about, to be without flesh. To be without flesh is to be without sin. And you can't be with Father if remember, he is light, and he's going to take us to where his Father's house is at. By the Redeemer, he has to strip us of this flesh to be with Father. You can't be with Father with flesh. I hope you understand that, more than anything. I hope that's what rings clear more than anything. This taking of this flesh and this final judgment is probably with these beast system that's reigned for thousands of years. If you believe in some kind of death and time, there comes a final judgment, a trump, a shofar, a ram's horn, the ox, the aleph, the leader, the wedding. So there'll be a stripping of these earthly things. If you're going to sup with Father, he is sovereign and is without flesh. And he said he's destroyed the physical temple through the prophecy. He destroyed prophecy. Isn't that beautiful? Christ destroyed. Not only did he fill it, he destroyed prophecy. There's no modern day prophet. All the things that were destroyed of the physical law fulfilled. And so only by faith, which is not a physical thing, correct, are we saved. But people don't get this because they're of the flesh, and Father doesn't write it on their hearts. He didn't, seeking you shall find, asking you shall receive, knock and I will come sup with. He didn't invite everybody to come sup with him at the Lamb's feast of the wedding feast of the Lambs. It's in the Word. So if you want to sup with Father and you want to be with Father with Shiloh, you can't be there in flesh. He's sovereign. He's without flesh. He sent his Son to fulfill that flesh, and now that flesh is inside us. That physical temple is our body. That's why we put that light at the top of our house.
Hey, where are you going? What are you looking for?
He is Shiloh. Unless you don't understand the teaching. I love Brother Jim's teaching, but I thank Father for those that come over here that hear this understanding of Shiloh often, of who he represents. The head of the high priest of the church before Aaron and Levite. Remember, that was it. 2 families, 2 houses. Now it's all flesh, and he is the high priest of the church, will stand before the Father and say, no, Father, I cover their sins. I cover the sins of my bride of the world for their worldly flesh things that they stood against, and they persecuted them, and they suffered. Because under the wages of the Old Testament, under Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, just one sin was death. So we all fall short of this Shem, this meat, and we fall to this flesh. So I'm thankful, Father, for the sending. I always give thanks for Father for creating Shiloh. Shiloh is my love. That is what when he would bring me before the Father and cover, hopefully, these worldly things. If not, then I will stand before the Father, and the wages of sin is death. And I hope that cuts right to the bone. And I hope that you understand that. And that's why I try to beat these things. I don't need the teachings of Brother Jim to teach you the gospel. He said, call no man teacher. I'm just sharing you this narrow way about this afterlife, this prize, that we seek in this life is not flesh, but of worldly things, but of treasure of, Paul said, the ellipsis we must go through to receive that kingdom of God, the heirs to the throne of God that will be crowned in the age of the heir. And we're here. We are in the last book. We are the remnant. I can celestially tell you that. And I thank Brother Jim for all the blessings, but he's not a magi. Brother Jim is not a magi. He's the richest man on this rock because he comes with the gospel harder, and no more truth, no richer man than Brother Jim. You don't need to know these celestial teachings. Many are called, but only gods are chosen. I didn't ask to be birthed a false teacher, a scorpizzo, and understand these celestial markers for times and seasons, if you will. Want to play this the rock spinning around ball game that you guys like to play flesh. Be in it, but be not of it, brothers, sisters. Seriously, at judgments, that last shofar, this is what they scare the most. Not coming back and not being with Father with flesh, because he will strip the flesh, and that means they're not going to reign. Nope. This crowning moment, these years that these people have had is over. Maybe it won't. Maybe there'll be a great reset like the flood again, huh? No, this time it'll be with fire. Fire will definitely take care of it this time. As is above, so is below. Lightning, baby. Like Barack Obama? Yes, exactly. Like Barack Obama. Do you speak Hebrew? Would somebody like to define the word Barack Obama in Hebrew for the room? While I have a cup of coffee.
Barack, hiding from.
There you go. Who's insane or who's sane? You tell me. Thought we already took care of that guy in the desert. Saddam Hussein. Never mind. It's all about oil. Oh, another one of them oil tycoons. They call me the scapegoat bin Laden.
Right.
The scapegoat. Uh-oh. No, what a blessing, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Father, that I can still most of the time just teach and not worry about stacking charges. This is probably enough to send me to the clink for, let's see, I've got 6 felonies now or something like that. And this one's a pretty big one. I mean, this is at least 3 years for the menacing charge.
Go and borrow all that.
And 3 years for,
Don't say that.
what's that?
Don't say that.
What's that?
No.
Oh, I didn't even care about none of this. And then remember, we've got hindering prosecution, 2 felonies under some revised statute. Do I look like a statute to you? Or revised statutes for a corporation? And I'm not a corporation, brothers and sisters. That's why I don't, none of this. This is all Father's will. This is Trump. This is, I told you guys, this is Trump. You guys have listened. Extreme red flag gun law allows them under extreme order to come take my guns first and prosecute me later. So they already prosecuted my guns and arrested them, and they'll try to prosecute me later. Welcome to America, boys, brothers and sisters. This is perverted law, but that's between me and Trump. No, just kidding. Oh, he just called out the president. Whatever. They're going to have to look through all the live stream and now me exposing that Mr. Trump's responsible for 9/11. Blind 11.
No, bomb more people more times.
Yeah. Okay. So blessings for the channel, blessings for everything that gets taught in this ministry. And most of the time it's just the word, and it's not, hopefully I know it involves a lot of me, but I do know a lot of the times that we can just go back to teaching, and I can't talk about anything without going back to the word. Not everything's about God, Tracy. Really? You have somewhere to support that in scripture? If you say God created all things, I think you're an abomination. Well, speaking of Barack Obama, nobody defined Barack Obama, did they, in the chat? All right, whatever. You guys do your thing. I'll keep doing what I do. Father sent all of us to hold a different measure, so now I probably have measured up probably about a dozen years in prison or something like that, between hindering prosecution, interfering with a peace officer, 4 felony counts, and now menacing the pigs. Not a menace to society, but menace to the police. You never heard a song called Fuck the Firefighter, have you? All right. I can't change it up, guys. I already said all these things, so I can't. So that's a lot of years in prison, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to prison. I'm already in prison. They already martyred me. I already spent time in it. I'm saying, it's thy kingdom come, thy will be done. There's nothing that's going to happen to this flesh vessel that Father didn't already write from the foundation of the world, create for the foundation of the world, and by his will be done. I'm not going to spend any time being anxious if I know Father created all things. This is what he made me to do. He made me to stand against their perverted Halaka or Hagada in the day of Christ. But this is commerce, corporation law. I don't go by none of this. So this is, I don't even look at it. This is not even judicial. It's not even operating in an Article 3 court. They'd have to drag me to an Article 3 court and give me original Title 18 statutes, because I'm not part of this corporation. Not arrested, and you have to give your authority over this. So they know that every time I don't consent to be in a capital letter name. That's you. That's your social security number. You've been credited from birth. So, yeah, there's no such thing as sovereign. You're not sovereign. Only God is sovereign. Remember that line, please. There's only one sovereign entity, and that's Father. He is without light. Right? No, you have darkness. Everything has darkness. Only Father is pure light. Remember that, please. So only one sovereign. We are all fall short of the Agape, in our times, this new one, but only one sovereign, because he is light. And if he's going to take us to the sovereign one, then you can't be with flesh, lion. Please be ready your eternal body. See, it's filthy rags. You don't need it to go be with Father. If you want to go be Father without his house, I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to go to where my Father's house is at. I'm going to come back and prepare a place and redeem you. You'll have a new body. If you're going to be with Father, you can't be with flesh. Or Father's coming back as flesh as a physical body. That's not what it says. He says he's going to take the darkness from this earth. Hallelujah, the flesh. So when you have this new body, there'll be a new heaven and a new earth and a new body. You want to know why it's new to you? Because you're used to living in this dark flesh. And you may have come back again and again, because I 100% believe in reincarnation. I'm eternal. What do you mean? No reincarnation. A little time or season. Oh, he'll release the flesh again. Oh, are you so worldly you think these things are just going to not recycle? Nothing new under the sun. There'll be a final judgment, though, in this time. Just going by this revelation. I am Pastor Revelation. Remember that. I give you this apocalypse by his will, not of my own. You're supposed to be sharing this with others. If you've supped with him, if you supped with this word, you will know, and you wouldn't want to keep it to yourself. Why wouldn't you want to share that light? So be that beacon of light, in this dark place, brothers, sisters, for others. I feel blessed to go sit in a jail cell for 3 days imprisoned and be martyred for his sake and stack more charges against this perverted law and this corporation, crimes of commerce. These are not lawful. My judge is the Father. Hopefully not. Remember, the Son is my Shiloh is my judge. That's right. That's what you better understand. If he's going to take us to your Father's house, where his Father, yes, it's all related. I hope you see that, brothers and sisters. I hope you can relate this as we take Scripture. We're supposed to relate that to our lives. Use all these teachings that are in Scripture to fulfill our own life. These are basic instructions before leaving Earth. Why do you think they call it a Bible? Hello! Not everyone wants to go through the manual and find the cheat codes and do all the things like Brother Jim teaches, and that's taught here at this ministry, always to find aletheia. That doesn't exist in worldly things. It exists in the truth. So you have to sup with the word. I'm not Brother Jim. I'm not anywhere close to being Brother Jim, but I don't need to pick up the word. It's in my heart. He wrote it on my heart. Book of Colossians 2 and 14, once written on stone, the Agape, 216, right? Statutes, commandments, the Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. This was the law. I'm not under the laws of flesh. Blotted out, written on our hearts with blood, beard blood. Remember the blood he shed for the bride on fleshy tables of our hearts. So he's inside of us. Christ in you. Paul said that. We have an outer man and an inner man. That inner man can't sin. Sovereign. Hallelujah. So the teachings are all what we're supposed to be sharing with others. When we say teachings, I don't mean teacher. When I say teacher, he says, call no man teacher. We're supposed to share this, brothers and sisters. This is part of what the bride does. This is your mother. When it says your mother in Scripture, that is your mother, your brothers and sisters that are instruction. And if I'm leading you to passages, once written on stone in book of Colossians 2 and 14, as now sprinkled with the blood of the Lamb and on fleshy tables of our hearts, you understand then Christ is not in some temple. Father used to be a vessel of light, the horizo. He said, I am the horizo, correct? I am the divider of the day and the night, the dark and the light. I imprison them in this meat suit. Darkness, flesh, sin. The one that causes us to stumble over and over this worldly things. And he can't sin. That's what Paul said. That outer man and that inner man. It's in Scripture. So if you'll share this with others in the narrow way, that is our instructions. That's what we're instructed to do. So call no man teacher. The word is what we sup with. The word is what teaches us. It's what refines us. I can bring you to little things that might help, because spiritual calculator. I don't know if everybody's ever said that before, but things have to add up to me because he gave me a different measure than you. I know numbers like you don't know numbers. I speak in 50 different languages. Brother Jim is not like I said, I don't speak oligos of Hebrew and Greek. Okay. There's other things, but I also speak in numbers, too, much more. I celestially speak. The stars speak to me. Yeah, they do. They speak to me in the word. They come to life right there in the celestial firmament. And then I know 2,600 years ago, a revelation was given to John at the island of Patmos, so I can give you this same revelation. Put it on my body so that I make sure Father knows. It's not what goes in a man that defiles him, it's what comes out of him, so he knows I was paying attention to his revelation, to his book, that final testament of your will, his will, paid on a tree, right? Anybody want to hang you from a tree? He said, follow after me. Conform to my image, the ones that are imprisoned in flesh. He'll pull to his light. He'll make them from above, he said. Not again. Born from above, and from above means without flesh. Above isn't above your head. Heaven isn't above your head. The firmament is above your head. It shows the handiwork of his Father. So I, as a mag, I understand this firmament, this firmament, and this clock, this waters above and waters below, how this works. So Kevin was having a little discussion with me. It's good to have this man out here with me too. I feel a man whose mind is not of these worldly things. You know, maybe we'll get to see some of this outer space beyond the ice wall, you know, because he said, I am the horizo, the east and the west. Their north and south is up and down, you know, their space god, their outer space ships, sparse boats, flying ships in the sky, boats, far, what? Hey, Commander Captain Luke Picard, we've got Operation Warp Speed, Mr. Trump at the helm. He's soon to deliver the millimeter wave and the mega robots doing megalithic structures right here. I want to get out of this country. I'd rather go farm than be a part of this beast millimeter dome. Yes, the wall from Panama to the Canada border in Alaska. So, all right. Hey, I see change is already here. It's already happening. It's going to give its power and authority to the dragon, to the beast. So it's going to be given over to the, I see this already. It's in the word. So I'm not prophesying. Remember, that was all fulfilled. Yep. Blotted it out. Handwriting of ordinances, Colossians 2 and 14, all that physical. So it was already written. So there's no more prophecy. Nope. Not in this New Testament. There's no prophets walking around. Call no man teacher. What is a teacher? Well, the prophet is the word teacher. Interesting, huh?
Like this one hit the firmament. It fucking blew up.
Yeah. So our waters above and our space far. Do you know the Mr. Stinky Muskrat's rock is they must have been screwing around corners or something. Because they always, huh? All right, you got. Hey, NASA, would you like to explain the occurrence of air waves in the lunar, air bubbles? What do we got air bubbles in the lunar waves for? All right, never mind. So they're going to have to answer for that too, guys. No matter what, I feel thankful for this Father that we get to sup with, you know, with Pastor Revelation in here and this worldly things, because Brother Jim is super honed in on the gospel, super honed in on the concordance, super honed in on the lexicon, and that's why I shift most people. I've always said too, I'm thankful for the narrowing of the channel. Throwing both channels, you know, right up to the near 20,000, you know, 17, this one, what other one went 20, and then just capping them, you know. But this still has numbers that have reached far beyond mega church numbers, and millions of eyes have heard this gospel. And this is unreal to have partaken in this ministry with you guys here, my brothers and sisters that are able to glean from the old, you know, laws like we were, you know, that have perverted. I'm hoping that you can glean from this channel. Use your spiritual calculator, spiritually discern all things that are said here from everybody. It doesn't matter who says it, but that this is not in vain. And even like what just happened to me, it's all by Father's will. And I give thanks. It's been a long haul, you know, but it's not over yet. So if I know my Father, he saves the best for last. There will be a wedding. You know what I'm saying? And from burning was like Yes, outstanding, Mommy. Blessings. Thank you for that testimony. Thank you so much. Yeah, so they've taken this away from us, our ability. They've made most men mammon or believe that some man in some house is going to give you the gospel, and it's not. There's two gospels, there's the narrow way and the broad way. There's Christ and there's Antichrist, not the Antichrist, but I'm thankful for those who use these study tools. And again, I hope that's what this ministry has been, is a study tool. I'm up here obviously sharing the gospel and a lot of other things that are shared through my life's walk against this. What I'm trying to do, if you hope I understand, and I don't think it's by my will, because God said if I didn't call out to their hearts to seek after me, that not one of them would, that he chose from the foundation of the world who would be vessels of wrath, fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world, and who would be vessels of mercy. So he already knows whose names will be called out in that book. He even knows whose names will be blotted out because he wrote that book, remember? So it's not like you have any say in this matter. So I am thankful for that understanding, that wedding that we receive is our prize, and I know that there's others, again, that if you glean, that there was a taking or a treasure or something from this channel, that, that's what it was for the ministry. It was part of, and then again, such a thankful that it's still available to us even right now, that I'm back here again out of jail after spending a few days in jail. And we'll see where it goes from here. Let's get back to what I was saying. And I don't want to be in here all night. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I'll try to get back in here. I don't know what time it is. I'm just a little exhausted, guys. I seriously only slept 3 hours while I was in there. Yeah, we will, David, we will endure the end. We won't quit. We will endure to the end to be saved. And he writes that on our heart. He won't give us a weight more than we can't carry. And it's hard. I made a pretty big statement today, or the day I was arrested. I want Elijah's car looked into. I want Marshall looked into. I want some more of these things, these worldly things, that as an investigator, I know that they're missing some of these details on where my son's at. My son is under the threat of the arrest of a gun to be taken, because they could have done that again, guys. They brought another warrant. I'm glad that happened out in public, and I flipped them off, and they came over, and you see what I said? It's from my live stream, or whatever I said. I'm not happy. Why is nobody talking about my son's 180 hours? So that's how I pull them over. So whatever. I'm not going to ever let any of them slide, brothers and sisters. I'm not. I'm just not the man. If I've had the shoe on the other foot, and I've worked for this corporate beast system, and I know what I've done, the last thing I'm going to do is serve it again. No, I won't. Absolutely not. I refuse to. They can take anything, right? But they can't take God's will from me. That is not, they can't take that. So my death is already written. Don't be anxious. You guys never know. We have to endure the end. I never got so hard that I couldn't take it. I ended up, well, no, they took my gun, so I can never even, you guys remember I talked about that. I wasn't a threat to myself. I wasn't a threat to anybody else. I wasn't threatening anybody. It's not a threat to tell somebody I'll kill you if you come here again and assault my body. If you don't properly do this stuff, I have the right to protect myself. So, whatever. I don't care about some stupid Second Amendment item. Just sucks if my animals would have to suffer here, and I couldn't protect my animals now. So it's okay. God fights all my battles, and I'm not yeah, I'm sure I don't care. Let them track it all. My phone, lady and Red, please, sister, they have been watching me. I don't care what they see.
I am an antenna.
You don't understand. I don't need my phone. They know what I'm, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to overdo it. So, yeah, so I guess I could stay here a little bit longer, guys. Probably because some people come in here and need some updates. Yeah, you can write off I got more charges. I got menacing. I'm menacing, not a menace to society, but a menace to the police. And I'm not harassing people in society. I'm harassing the police. And I'm interfering with a peace officer, and I'm hindering prosecution. And well, you don't let the police do anything, do you, Tracy? Just as long as that's not in capital letter name, so we can get that established for the record. I'm not operating in commerce. I'm always operating in private capacity, never in commerce. Okay. What'd you say? Oh, no, okay. Kevin has he said, you're an antenna line. They've been spraying you with nanotech and lacing you with their inner Starlink. Get ready for your rapture.
We're all antennas, the sooner they'll be able to take care of themselves better.
Kevin knows about the program, and he likes to talk about it to people because nobody will understand. They've been doing this to. You remember, I have a chemtrailer. Why does Pastor Revelation have a chemtrail tattoo? Because this is part of the program, brothers, sisters. You know, I went and brought this man to a video. If you would like to go look at a channel that I have called America Ever After. If you want to see Pastor Revelation unrip the veil off of something about 12 years ago, maybe that channel is. I don't know how old. You can give me an update. Go see America Ever After. And you'll see me do a video about chemtrails. And I'll expose they were using this nanotechnology, corkscrew anchor technology into our system to stack it like background radiation to eventually interlace us with this patent 0606 program that they're going to call Kevin crazy, but it's happening to all of us. So Kevin likes to specialty, and his is this understanding this program. And people might think that what he's saying is crazy, but it's all out. The cat's out of the bag. They've been using this aerosolic radiation management, one side of the coin, to we're all going to die because they're spraying us with heavy metals, brondium, strontium, barium, mold spores, cow blood, aluminum, probably more aluminum than anything else, silverite. Go look at the channel, okay? And so when I met this guy, because most people thought he was crazy, and I showed him a video for like a dozen years ago, I was telling everybody 15 years ago, 20 years ago, try to look up this guy about this shit, Don't feel crazy. You're on, man. It's good that you're exposing this stuff is happening because nobody cares. So, if RFK did it, don't believe RFK. That dude is a freaking jackal and a two-faced Gemini. John F. Kennedy was a Gemini, and so is his RFK. So I don't want to hear it. I don't do the stupid politics. So I want to let you know that, guys. Be careful. This something I heard that was in there. Yes, red blood cells are very important when it comes to 5G whiz. Here we go round in circles. Way to fly high like a bird up in the sky. Boom, on the ground. There we go. It's in everything, guys. Corn syrup, all this poisoning, all this stuff. So I'm thankful again, too, brothers, sisters. No matter what they do, we've really pushed forward on this ministry, too, to expose a lot of what's going on. And we're not just standing down, and just being silent about this. And that's the last thing it would be to be Christ-like, would be to stand down. There's nowhere in Scripture he says to be quiet. Actually, he says, do not partake in unfruitful works of darkness, rebuke them. Shine the light. So you're supposed to go out and judge with righteous judgment everybody you see. Yes, don't condemn them. Bring them to the light. If they're in the broad way, show them to the narrow way. So, nothing lasts in this, realm forever. So hopefully, Father's really tested, me. And if you guys got to be a testament, come in here and leave your testimony. And this whole walk of these last 10 months has been quite the ride. The whole ministry for years now that we've been up has just been a blessing. And, again, I feel very blessed today to be able to get out and get back on here and let you guys know I'm okay. Keep sharing the word. There's nothing here that's not happening that I don't feel, like, again, that nothing is, nothing's by chance. So I don't think Father's done with this. I have a long ride ahead of me because of this case. It's not possible. If Father wrote all things, he's not going to make this next, ride easy. Now I have to go stand up against the government. as I already am, this pig, because you guys remember I've called out the feds. So what I want to actually again ask at this point in this case, to kind of give you guys a little bit of update too on where, because I've already spoken with an attorney today. Finally, Paul Palmer is the attorney, and I don't put my trust in him. I know that Father created all things and wrote all things, but he had some confidence at looking into it and understood when I said it's 5 years old, the case itself, that I do appreciate everybody coming in tonight again, guys. I apologize. I took two gummies and it's helping my back. So I'm kind of firing in and out. It's starting to help a little bit. So, I'm trying to keep her together here. I'm only going on 3 hours of sleep, and I'm not hugging a coffee here or anything, but sure is good to have some coffee. You don't have to push the shower button 50 times and the sink button 100 times to get lukewarm coffee. No, get some hot coffee. Not like hot, like this is hot, good coffee. And I bought some creamer because I feel short of, hey, Kevin's in this, guys. Kevin is... Father sent Kevin. He bought land right next to me. So Kevin's not going anywhere, I don't think, guys. I think I'm going to ask again, because Kevin has been targeted for passage too, from the country. Again, I want to, give you guys thanks for being here and all that, but I can still do all these things, which I think, again, I could do from in the court's perspective, and I don't need to be in the United States. Because of my, exposing, and we'll see how deep, this goes. If this, corporation truly understands what was done on 12/29/2024, we literally took billions of dollars from the corporation. Yes, we did. That funded a lot of, that didn't fund. If that's truly what I have all faith that was done on that day. If you want to sit here and do hands, on a time clock, on a day and a year, on this time and date, I gave you a date, under witness, under this false, nonsense realm, they have, was able to go in there and subrogate that merchant number. So, and hold it up. That's when they vacated the trial, and there has not been another trial date. Now they've got some new charges that they can try to take me up, but they're still going to fall short because I'm not some merchant number, and I've already subrogated all the merchant number. They can try to put me under these things, and they might get some temporary funding, but not in their court under their actual charges. They're not going to happen. It's all been frozen. It's all been it's in I have power of attorney over it now. So it's not going anywhere. I took over power of attorney in open court, and I put the court on notice of liability. And when I put the court on notice of liability, it puts them on liability for all damages. Now, all damages are supposed to be paid to me, but I don't want any of the money. I don't want the money from the case. So if you look at the Trezevant calculator of 1983, this is my kind of speaking to you guys about how the federal government should already been stepped in involved in this case with Elijah Werner, and should have gotten involved earlier, but God wanted everything to happen exactly as it did. When I go back to something like this, because this is something that has only historically been done with case law, as I told you before, to calculate and actually, credit an account with $360 million for this wrongful prosecution, which I have affirmative defense, justification, and excuse defense in this case, to excuse and justify my actions. Yes, that's what this is all about, is about protecting myself and my son from a legal prosecution. So, yeah, standing up to perverted law like Christ did. Hello. It isn't just about my son. It's about how people can do this to many people. Most people, this happens too. So when you subrogate this merchant number, if you're not understanding what these are, legal speak that most people don't understand, logistical, they think this is some kind of constitutional republic, and this is not a constitutional republic. This is a corporation called America, sold on the New York Stock Exchange. That merchant number that I tell you, I subrogated that merchant number. So by challenging the judicial capacity of the clerk, Dave Vanderberg, that he does not operate in a judicial capacity in an Article 3 court under the original Title 18 statutes. This is not even legal or lawful. And there's a difference between legal and lawful. So I know these legal speak. And as I subrogated, exercised my right of subrogation, subrogation means I'm challenging the authority that the judge doesn't have any capacity, because he's not even a judge, he's a clerk. There's like 400 clerks faking as judges in America. Unless they're under the original Title 18 statutes adjudicated through a House, Congress, and Senate, those are repugnant to the Constitution and not law. So if you let them put you under this corporate commerce revised statute, let's read this, my new revised statute. Oh, do I look like a statute? Do I look like a corp? Let's read the new one, just for sakes. So, oh, hey, no, thank you so much, brothers, for your, thank you, Lion. Thank you, Lion, for, yes, thank you, brothers, for everybody who's still be able to be here. I'm going to have to figure out a way to do this. Give you controls in this to get this, going for something. If something happens. I'll make sure, guys, the next time that if I go back in, not giving up the phone, because it has a lot of evidence of other people's harassment on there. That I'll try to give Kevin the controls so he can keep the live stream up and going. I mean, there's no reason why I won't. I trust this man now with whatever. He's a man of God. He said, hey, all we need is the books. We'll leave it at that for now. But ORS 166 163. Look at these freaking. Look at these. Tell me this isn't of the devil. I love it. Father does it by the devil. Look at this. ORS 166, Oregon Revised Statute. I'm not a revised statute. Okay, so that's not Title 18. That was added after the Constitutional Republic when this became a corporation. So I know my law better, legal. There are 163, 166, brothers, sisters. Harassment and menacing. I think menacing is a 36-month charge, 3 years in prison for menacing. 3 years. Well, that would make sense. 163. So you got to do 3 years for menacing, and 166. I don't know. What do you get for harassing the police? Fuck the police. So, yeah, fuck pigs, people in government. That too. I'm going to stand against the whole corporation. I don't care. I'm not worried about this little thing that I got going. I care my son's missing and all that, but I'm still trying to stand up against Donald Trump, remember? Fuck Donald Trump. Now his red flag gun laws just got my guns taken away. Fuck you, Donald Trump, you fucking prick. Take that. They got to look at this, guys. I've been already doing it, so I can't fake this to the attorney. I got to figure out how I'm going to break this to this attorney. I'm not just standing against this corruption. I'm standing against the commerce law. I was not arrested under the capital letter name TRA. This is not going to be like maybe any other case you've ever done, so I'm not a revised statute, and they took my 2 guns that I said that I had. Guys, you think I was really planning on using those? What fucking idiots these people are. I'm exercising my fucking First Amendment. I'm exercising my right to be secure in my persons, papers, houses, and effects. I have that right under the Fourth Amendment to be secure. Yeah, they can't take that away from me. Well, they just did. So, under Trump's red flag gun law. So it's not like you weren't warned on this channel. And they'll come do it to you too soon. Watch. If you don't go along with this government and Did you? Breaking news. Donald Trump just passed an executive order. If you don't love the government, and yes, love Donald Trump, you'll go to fucking prison. He could just write it by executive order. You bootlickers go along with it. Yep, 51% people said so. Love the fucking government. Fuck you guys. See, I don't like that. I don't, and I apologize for that. Here you go back to, well, whatever. This is who I am. This is who he made me. You think he stood against the law and it was sounded all nice, came out where you do the works of your father, the devil. These are the synagogues. And I know he didn't curse, brothers, sisters, but he wasn't at this time where they had literally gangs in America, the state police, the city cops, the sheriffs, the deputies, and all the fucking federal alphabet soup agencies that not once have ever come talk to me about this case. What a bunch of fucking losers. Spent all these money on this federal government. They all get these big checks, but not one of them ever come out to investigate all the corruption in Lake County. Maybe Tom was delivering. Oh, somebody was delivering Tom meth at the airport. Oh, he did get fucking busted on the job, if I'm not mistaken, doing methamphetamines. All this shit that I've been saying. All this stuff out here, they forget that I stood against these farmers out here too. All this stuff that's been going on is not just some small case. I told this attorney today, Paul Palmer, this is a federal case, just so you know. I'm already called for a change of venue. That means, leave, get it out of this county. This checks every block. Remember how many change of venue live streams we have? We have just change of venue live streams. We did just about the subject change of venue. We've had subject about affirmative defense, justification defense, self-defense, all these things. I have all done all these thousands of hours of streaming, educating you on your right under the Constitution of the United States. Laws adjudicated through the House, Congress, and the Senate. If they're going to try you, your Sixth Amendment right under fair trial, adequate counsel and your Miranda right, speedy trial under your Sixth Amendment, call witness in your favor under your Sixth Amendment. I'm giving you the basics. Obviously, I could go on, but I'm trying to give you the basic skills you need to know how to keep yourself within being Christ-like and not following the beast system and licking their boots. Yeah, the pigs, people in government. Did you vote Donald or did you vote Joe? It don't matter. Two wings to the same dragon, two cheeks to the same hole. Democrat or Republican? Which side are you on? Now, which lollipop are you going to lick? Which mass murderer in chief are you voting for that's going to send your women to war? Yes, women in war, just like Ukraine. Oh, I have to go over that too. This guy was exposing that all the tax dollars go and killed Ukrainian women and men, and a whole generation of Ukrainians were unalive with the corporate merchant number. They Rocking Horse, Big Bob. I'll keep that clean, but remember double stuffed Oreo? It's real, guys. The whole world's going along, and Trump knows all this too. That's what's pretty funny. Trump knows everything I've been telling you guys in here. Don't think this dude doesn't know. He's wise as a serpent. Remember, there's a reason why he said, you knew I was a snake before you let me in. So he's hip to the fact. I've made some pretty bold statements that I think that Mr. Chump has a hankling of who I am and what I've been, telling you who he represents and why is this, why, don't ask why. Father wrote all things. He said, I do all these things after my own counsel and for my own pleasure. Let him beat you. Oh, no, it's good to ask why. I'm just kidding. It's good to be inquisitive and investigate. Use discernment, brothers, sisters. I'm just giving you a hard time. Narrow is the way, beating it out of you. So, all right. Father does it. It's the word in me. Hallelujah. So, through Shiloh, through the redemption of the bride, the redemption. So, I had a little signature too, because I got arrested in this hat and it got left in the truck that I was arrested in, and it was at this house when I returned. How about that for a Mandela effect? Or it was just Josh gave it back. So maybe another little sign like the old light inside the Toyota light inside of the property. Don't forget, Josh. So, yeah, you guys, this was at the house, and I, for 100%, didn't come back in my booking. And when I got back to the house, it was here, stuffed into the couch.
Well, it was on top.
Well, no, I'm saying it was, what I'm saying right here.
It was stuffed on top because the dogs are sleeping on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was, it was like over in the corner, it was here. It wasn't like it just appeared there, So obviously he saw it, and they could have brought it back. I'm just saying it's another signature of Josh. He likes to leave his little signature. been kind of warning people about this guy because I believe he's the guy who really pushed all this, this whole thing here. But we had to do this because, Father, remember, this is the guy that was running his mouth the most. And he wasn't the only one. I'm just telling you, he seemed to be, from the birds talking about what was being said that night for the SWAT raid, that he seemed to have the loudest voice, So it is what it is. I'm not, I wasn't there at their party to come swat the guy and get rid of him, make him shut the fuck up, and get him to come out with a gun and get rid of his mouth. Was that the Fed sending the state out here to get rid of me? They did that with Lavoy Finicum. Maybe that's why when I showed up to Elijah's court date that day, when they told me my son went missing in September, and I know he was on court in October, shut up, stater pig. I'm talking to your leader pigs in your camera, and I can put in a FOIA request. I'm not Lavoy Finicum. Father already wrote my death, and maybe the state can come out here now. Anytime they can do that. I don't care. They'll do whatever they want. Now, obviously, they've done it more than once. I bet you they've done it a bunch of times, and nobody's ever documented it. So they could just send a SWAT team out. Don't matter. They don't even have to look at the evidence in the case. In this case, they didn't at all. Yeah, they could send a SWAT team out without looking at the evidence and arrest a man, literally assault him with a grenade to the face. Remember? You're supposed to throw a smoke concussion grenade into the room, right? Those go in. Those are into the room, concuss the whole room. Smoke fills up the whole room, not at somebody's face. So that's excessive force and assault. Me telling him, if you come here and assault me again, I'm going to protect myself and shoot you and kill you, was why they gave me these charges, new menacing, and took my guns, the 2 guns that I had, and took my Second Amendment, my Fourth Amendment away. So, Tango, stop. Will you let him out real quick? To be secure in my house's papers, persons, and effects. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little party. But anyways, hey, you guys are going to have to give me 1 second. I bought a lemonade. I don't drink a bunch, but is there a peach lemonade over there that I bought? I bought a lemonade at the store. I'm sure I'll get some sleep tonight, but man, 3 hours of sleep in 3 days is tough. I don't sleep when I'm in there. But anyways, I got to keep standing against this corporation, brothers, sisters. This is part of what Father, if he created all things, then if you have a problem, please take it up with Father. Don't shoot the angel. Down there on the ground, right behind you. Yeah, on the if you turn around, it's on the metal pad. Shut the door inside, Kevin. Yeah. I put all that stuff on. There's a steel thing right there. See, it stays cold. It'll keep stuff. That's kind of my little refrigerator. I got a cold plate. I was like, I won't sleep no more. Yeah, I got a cold plate on the thing. There's a cold plate. There was a fire in the back of this cemetery. Peach twisted tea. So, all right.
Yeah, I'll put you to sleep.
I don't think I can even drink the whole thing. But
I've been on sleeping for a while.
yeah, I don't know. I need to pass out and try to not even think about it. I could lay there all night. I did last time when I got out of jail. I didn't sleep 1 wink when I got home that night. I just laid there all night in a nice comfy bed, but never had a peach one. Oh, ooh, maybe not. I had a pineapple one that was okay, but I don't know about peach. Ugh. I thought I might not like that, but oh well. Maybe not. I don't think I could do the peach. Oh well. Maybe the gummies will work. Yeah, go ahead, man. I just don't like peach really much on a flavor. I'm weird about some flavors. No, yeah, go ahead. Maybe I kind of thought maybe I have a preconceived notion or something, but the pineapple was good. Remember that pineapple one? I gave you that, I got like a week ago. I bought one. I bought 2 of them. I gave one to Kevin, and it was pineapple. They're really good. Like I said, I don't really Alcohol is not my thing. Like I said, I think my son, again, he's 25 or 6 now. He's 22 years old when he saw me drink a beer for his first drink alcohol. So it's okay. A little bit. They've used alcohol for medicinal purposes for many years, but it's not my medicinal
I've
choice.
used alcohol for years.
And that's probably how I would use it, to try to get night's sleep or something. You know, that was kind of my plan when I bought it. Like, you know, but anyways, no cures in the
If they
world.
didn't poison it, probably be pretty good for him.
Yeah, there was some bunch of not good nanoparticle crap, corn syrup, and all that other poison in there for us too. Carbonic acid is not good. Doesn't allow the whole protein to separate. That makes you toxic in your lower intestine. Not giving medical advice, but most of the disease in past, now there are lots of changes because of diet, but can be found because of lack of nutrition in the lower intestine. They don't want you to know that. What do you think GMOs do? Fuck with your gut bacteria so that your whole proteins don't separate and go into your lower intestine, can't be absorbed by the philia lining, and then they turn toxic, and you got a poop chute full of
Diseases program.
Yep, and that body's gonna sit body and make you all, and then the programs, it's all sitting in there in your backside. So go have a good clean colon. Oh, all right.
Organic.
All right, moving on. That's not medical advice, that's medical theory.
Organic.
So diet is everything, brothers, sisters. Be careful what you put in your body. It's not what goes in us that defiles us, but our body is a temple, and so
Avoid the microwave, avoid the routers.
yeah, all things in moderation. I'm not concerned. Oh, hey, what do you know? It's like no reason, you know, nothing by chance here. God put it on this earth. It's here for us to consume. So you hate microwave? I threw my microwave away in 1991. And my television, I think before that, right around that time, or well, television, you know, the whole watching cable and all that, you know, thing, that predictive programming, you know, it's kind of, I'm on a Mexican radio, radio waves and all that good stuff. So, but, okay. So moving back, let me move back to the point first, give you guys a little bit of an update too. So what I've already talked to this attorney, Paul Palmer, is to seek, sorry, my eyes have just been hurting this ever since he got out of jail. I don't know what it's being inside all that time in that building and then coming back out. I feel, all right, you guys are messing up. I probably going to have to go see an optometrist pretty soon. This right eye in there was doing some crazy things, but it's probably going to about 3 hours rest in 3 days. So, but I'm going to seek protective custody at this point in time. If they won't allow me to defend myself and defend my animals, I do fear that I can't even take care of this property properly. I can't take care of my animals, and you know, I don't feel like I'm very safe in this country standing against the top of the, you know, system. So if they want to fight me or something, you know, I guess this is a way of doing it. You know, I would hope that they would be a little bit more aware that, you know, there was a man, you know, in 2024 that was able to stall out, you know, a massive amount of this merchant number, and no matter where it gets distributed, I'm about 99% sure that it was credited to, you know, what I would, if we want to put it on a ledger with this more modern day version of this, that I took over that, you know, WERNER capital letter name, capital TRACY, these charges, and that I was able to, by the glory of Father, stall, you know, death. And Father is going to create all these things, but standing against this is how we're supposed to do this, you know, and it will show again and be credited on, hopefully not during this lifetime. I don't want to gain even a single penny from that merchant number that would equate to dollars that I would ask for credit after my death for that day. That was, you know, so that's a threat to this corporation larger than anything probably in the last I don't know anybody else that's taken that much from the corporation, brothers and sisters. So I realize, again, if what was done that day truly became what I, challenging them, challenge the actual judicial capacity, because it's not operating in the Article 3 court, which is the only judicial court in the United States. And it has to be under the original Title 18 statutes. I've explained that. So none of that was actually a legal or lawful case, and all of this is linked. And so every time they do this and they arrest my body and they add to this case, they're just making more lawsuits for themselves, and so I think because I am a big enough threat to the corporation that I should seek safety in another country. I can't go anywhere. I can't leave the state under this, whatever they got. But I have an attorney, so I've, and I just got this today, and like I said, I just talked to him, so we'll see what he says. That's Monday, so that's not far off, on the 3rd, and I've already done my time, jail time, and bonded out, so I don't think I'm going to be rearrested for anything. There's no other charges, pending charges that they have here, no more warrants that they have signed. So I'm going to meet with this attorney an hour before, a little bit more, and go have a burrito and see if we can talk about this, see if he wants to change a venue, this case, get it, because I already told him it should be in the Supreme Court, and if it needs to be in appellate court, if but I don't, it can't be tried here under a change of venue. It checks all the boxes to qualify to not be tried in this case. Judge bias, witness. There's I've done a whole, many live streams on what qualifies for a change of venue, and this case has everything that that qualifies. So it isn't just like it's a couple things that would qualify. So the worst thing that would happen would be to try this case in this county, and so I think he may agree with that. And I think once I sit down and I explain to him, but somebody just needs to look at the evidence, because like I told him in the beginning, they didn't even Mirandize me. That the case is out right like that. There's certain technicalities they have to. I'm not a technical guy, but the courts are like that. You have to do things by the book. That's why when I was arrested, you guys, you were hearing me. If you're going to cost my body, under my Miranda rights, you're going to take my body, you have to show me a warrant. You have to show cause and tell me what it is and articulate what it is that I'm being taken for. That's RAS. I didn't go into all of it. I don't care. I don't like those cops anyways. I'm not going to give them the details. They should already know. That's called reasonable articulable suspicion. If you're a stinking cop, you'd know that, but they don't operate under any of this out there. They just do that all the way they do it. I said the same thing, but costing somebody's body, if you're under your Miranda rights, if they're going to take your body, they have to show warrant, what they're taking you for, what crime you've committed. They have to have reasonable articulation that you've committed a crime, and then articulate the crime you've committed before they take you and arrest you. If they're going to warrant, and then they have to show that. That's why I was asking them what for, and they said it was for a failure to appear, which I think is, but it is what it is. Everything happened. I already went to court that month, or this month. I've already been to court, appeared by phone. I have multiple things. The lady at the thing said, yep, I can appear. I went to the phone. The DOJ was on the phone. Department of Justice. I made a thing, and I'm not supposed to talk. I got a contempt of court, Oh, Department of Justice is on the line. Maybe something would happen. I came on here, was a little disappointed. I didn't record, guys, but it's okay. It was FOIA. I could fill out a FOIA request and get all of it. It's all recorded. So I'm not concerned about any of that, and they can dump whatever they want on this case, but they can't. Under the right of discovery, they can't suppress evidence. So if they do that, they're going to find out, guys, that this county is just absolutely one of the most corrupt counties in all of the corporation America. And they operate in a different, I'm 99% sure my friend Gene got his son taken away from me because he's involved with me. Like Kevin got a ticket for not even speeding. Kevin wasn't speeding. He got up to the speed limit and then, got into traffic. The car in front of him was going much faster anyways. These people are just criminal. I got the cop to say he was even radar him the wrong way. That guy in court today was in that court. He's like, hey, you're the guy that was telling all those cops that, you know, and your buddy was going, yeah, wow. He was kind of, he's like, he recognized, you know, and then he was like, yeah, the cop, you know, you told him that he was going this way and he was going, then he just sat there. The cop knew he was wrong. I had to get up when I knew, no matter what I had just said, I had given on record enough for that judge. If he was not biased, say, all right, you know, officer, you said you were radaring this way when he actually, you couldn't, you said you were going west. He was parked at the time of going west. You pulled in. If you were going west, you couldn't have radared him. The only officer that could have radared him was the officer was down by Dollar General, and that was a half a mile away. And he came up at 90 miles to catch up with him, and then gives him a ticket for 43 and a 35, 8 over the speed limit. The cars go 65 down this highway all day. You can see probably film 50 to 100 cars, boom, boom, 65. They give this man a ticket for 43 that's targeting. He drove 1,400 miles to fight that ticket.
Yeah, there was a cop at the place.
He put his treasure in heaven. 1,400 miles. He had a ticket in 20 years. Kevin, see what I'm saying? See why Father sent me Kevin?
On record that I'm being targeted.
But he did. He put on record, I think, of being targeted because I'm hanging out with him. So I got, that guy was in court today, and he's like, I can't believe, man, that, you know, that. And I had to get, I knew at that point in time, I said, okay, I got this cop. That cop sat back in his chair, even leaned back. He's like, oh, fuck.
Being targeted.
You know, I'm screwed. And I knew the judge wasn't going to change his name. I asked because he said sir to the guy. I'm like, oh shit, Kevin called sir. And I know he didn't want to say that.
You're not supposed to call him that.
And because I talked about Kevin, I was like, well, whatever. If you do whatever you want, but sure. You notice, Kevin, I don't call him honorable or I don't call him sir because they're not being honorable and they shouldn't be addressed as sir because what they're doing is criminal. So Kevin had slipped up and said, sir. So I was a little frustrated. I'm like, oh, I got to cover my brother. He drove me all the way down here. Just fucking standing up there. Your Honor, I'm going to have to ask to leave, or, you know, could I ask permission? And I don't ever ask permission ever. I walk out of the court every time. If you're on record, you'll see FOIA requests. I leave. I don't ask permission. I don't sit down at their little stand when I'm, you know, not in their belly chains and locked up in shackles, you know, have my... Got me nearly hog-tied. They just don't have me spin around behind my back there. But got belly chains and criminal. Treat me like I'm some criminal because I'm standing up for my son because he did the 180 hours, right? You say he didn't. Thank you. But Kevin's in there. And, you know, like I said, I said, hey, you know, Your Honor, can I leave? You know, the courtroom, because I was going to say, and I knew too, I was really close. That judge, fake clerk Vanderberg, he's like, kept threatening me with, that's what that thing, that guy's like, he kept threatening to throw you in jail, dude. He just kept talking, you know, or like contempt. And you were like,
they kept telling me that?
No, me, when I was up on the witness stand on your case. Because, you know, I'm like, well, no, that's bullshit. You were a witness. All he would let me do is let him address yes or no. No, hold on. Yes or no. Remember? He wouldn't let me, you couldn't answer me anything but a yes or no question. You couldn't let me,
no,
I couldn't articulate on anything he said.
And then
you could only answer him yes or no questions. That's where he finally is like, once I got that cop to, you know, like I said, admit that.
I made the mistake of saying that the first time.
What's that?
That yes or no. And then after that, I told you to go ahead and extrapolate on what you thought happened.
Right. And the judge is like, no, you can only ask him yes or no questions. And I'm like, that's bull. No, he can, if I can articulate on what he said, because that's what I was saying. No, yeah. Kevin's got to come up with this whole case. Okay, so this is how it happened. You know, no, then that's called coercion. Hello, right?
What happened is
coercion. He's leading the statement, leading the witness. Hello, I know this law. See what an idiot judge this is. And then he's telling me that he can only convert. Well, his answers can be only yes or no. And I guess that wouldn't sway my answer, right? With coercion, it can only be phrased one way. It was a clown show, brothers, sisters. And he kept trying to, because we were getting into the details.
He was guilty.
Yeah, well, he was, and I was going to get into some more things about the radar and what they were using, but at this time, he stepped in, basically said, you can only ask him yes or no questions. I'm like, you can't just tell me. That's what I said. he started saying something. I said, you can't just tell me I can't. He can only ask me yes or no questions. And then he got on to me about, and we'll do maybe someday we'll do a FOIA request on this. There'll be a whole channel on nothing but FOIA requests and live body cam footage for probably to the end of the world. There'll be so many thousands of hours on this channel of just body cam footage, FOIA requests, of in the courtroom. There's a lot of evidence that you guys haven't been able to see or stream or, part of that are part of this case that makes this case just massively huge, because this targeting is part of the same case. That's the whole case, is that people within this community,
It's one big
myself, my son, it's just such a massive case. It's unbelievable. Kevin gets a piece of property next to me and bam, he's already being targeted like that. And so these judges just do, like I said, Gene, let me show you this story for Gene too, because I wanted to, because for Gene's sake, I feel really just, I know that Father does all things, but how this Vandenberg needs exposed to, and I still face charges, guys. You should be quiet, Tracy. Whatever. Gene came here during when my son was here, when we didn't run away, and he brought me some ice and some food because I wasn't leaving the property, right? We were having a stand up, not a standoff. Remember? Yep. It's all live stream. Don't forget. So they pulled him over, remember, without cause or telling him a cause or whatever. And then Gene let his son, who he has full custody of, his wife signed over custody, not like her rights, but says in her order that her husband, when they separated, has the right to facilitate, that he dictates when she can see his son. Their son. That didn't come out right. Their son. And it's in paper. I'm like, Gene, I've done this before. 8 years I fought for custody of my son. I went and, a couple of attorneys barred and, represented myself. There's normally a parenting schedule. It's for a reason. They kind of, I know this stage like, well, no, I'm serious. It's like, I'm like, I guess under the shared custody, but that's crazy. No parenting schedule assigned. They normally want to see something. No, mine's, and I looked at it, and sure enough, his thing said that. It's like, when he wants her to see it, if she facilitates, she can, but it's got to go through him. And he's not a bad dude, but that's how they separated. So he wanted his son to go see his mom. And he was a little fearful, and he came to me. He's like, Trace, I'm not sure, she's, he knows about Elijah, and, that I was a single dad for a lot of years. And, what do you think, man? And actually his son came to me and said, I think my mom's going to steal me, and I sat down and told his son, hey, you go see your mom. What are you worried about this stuff for? That's mom and dad stuff. You don't need to worry about that. You go there, you hang out with your mom, you have a good time. If your mom starts doing something, you call dad or, something, but you go there and don't worry about none of those things. Those are adult things that your mom and dad should be worried about. I mean, if you truly feel like your mom's going to I'll be there with your dad to make sure that if that happens, don't worry about that. Go there. And I ended up giving him a controller. He asked me, and I finally gave in because his dad's, making sure he just doesn't, he'll keep asking and asking. And I wasn't able to find it in the garage. And, but I went out there and got it, whatever. And, before he left, to make sure he had something he knew, that, hey, I'll come and get you with your dad. Don't go there worrying about your mom's going to steal you and all that. I don't know where you get in this in your head. Just go enjoy your mom's time. And your mom's not going to do that. I would be worried about it. But she did. She ended up doing that. So the kid's right. And then Gene calls me. He's like, dude, she doesn't want to give him back. I'm like, oh, I'm like,
usually right.
So yeah, kids are to say the darndest things, and they're very credible normally because they don't have motive. So anyways, he has to he calls me up and he needs money. And remember that month I lent him money, and I don't have, he's got income every month. I have no income. I would gladly help him out. And I did, because he's a good dude. Like I say, come help me out during the, so, but anyways, I'm like, dude, I got you. Here's the gas money. You got a big guzzler, get it. He goes, go get your kid. If you think that something's not right, and she's saying that, it's probably better now before this gets, So he got the child service involved, and they said, yeah, she's custodially interfering with him. He's the one on paper, and he's good. And he had to wait till the next day, in the morning, but they showed up, went out there and removed the child and gave it back to him. He drove back here. Everything was good. She got a court date here with Judge Vandenberg, got a hearing, and they said because he custodial she ruled he lost his kid because he said on that visit where he was the custodial parent, the primary caregiver, had all that, had interfered custodially with her visit, that he reversed the custody and gave the child to her. On the record, when you listen to this shit, and I've already made that fucking record for Dave Vandenberg, and he's taken off the bench. That's children's fucking lives. He just interrupted that child, went to this school, lived in this fucking town, interrupted the parenting schedule like that because he knows Tracy Werner. That's why. Tracy Werner is why. Gene's son was targeted because of Tracy Werner. Fucking bullshit, guys. Look at the evidence I just fucking gave you. You can't interrupt a child like that. The reason is what I just told you. He got the child with child services to go and remove the child because she was custodial interfering, and that's what this fucking judge here used to remove Gene's fucking son from him. That's crazy, guys. It's bullshit. This shit needs to get exposed. You guys, I'm just saying, see? You need proof of fucking targeting? How is this Dave Vandenberg doing not only criminal law, but family law? His judgment is definitely clouded and biased. He can see a name, and as I told Kevin today, you see her with the name Tracy Werner, and it'll upset a whole fucking room. I ain't walked in it yet. Even opened up my mouth. Sometimes I just walk in a room, don't even open my mouth. You don't have to say my name, and people get upset. But it is what it is. I didn't ask for this life, so I feel so bad for my buddy Gene. I'm serious. There can be no other. Listen to what I just fucking told you. It's because my name appeared on that fucking police report. And Gene was hanging out with me. So, just crazy, guys. You know, targeting because people hang. I told Kevin today, hey, dude, he's got multiple properties. If you need to leave, dude, please, enough, dude. Thank you for bailing me out. You got to go, dude. I appreciate you walking my dog.
I had a heart attack at home, so, you know.
He's like,
nothing's going on there.
No. You know, so, but see, guys, you know, no, this dude's into the long haul. I know that. And now I'm going to seek his because they fucking targeted him. Now I fear for his life. And I want him to go to Ecuador with me. Yep, as my witness. I need him to farm with me and just worry about farming, and we'll fight this via this phone thing like we're doing here. They don't need my physical body in America to fight this case. So I am seeking this.
I will. Just let me get my passport.
Anybody gets around me gets targeted, guys, because I'm boisterous to the Constitution and this corporation, and they pay.
I'll come back. Here.
And we're not getting rid of this, guys. Hopefully they'll sweep this out because we were saying on the way back home, this place here is lovely. The area is amazing, but the law and this fucking farmers, rich farmers out here, like on the way home, guys, this fucking farmer is on our ass, dude. Just fuck, they get a free pass out here. They'll pull you over for going, you know, this 45 strip they got now. They just do whatever they want. Farmers run and do whatever.
Now.
What's that?
I go 8 under. Let them fucking
it's crazy. People don't like it out here because now Kevin does 8 under the speed limit. You better not do that because that could be an infraction for impeding the normal flow of traffic. So just, you know, as a prior traffic crash reconstructionist, you don't want to impede the normal flow of traffic. But guess what, law? I impede the normal flow of traffic out here, and I will go slower in this fucking farming town because my buddy Gary ran into one of those fucking implements, you know, and that's who was his fault because he's an old man. But whatever, he still did. But they took his license for fleeing the scene of an accident, and he left in a life flight. What the fuck? And Gary's been paying. Somebody needs to get this guy taken care of. This guy in his last fucking days is paying high ass, like $300 a month for insurance. He's in his fucking 80s. Because they said he fled the scene of an accident and they took him on life flight.
At least he went
from hitting a swather. So back to the reason why I drive slow in this town, because we are a farming community and the fucking farmers drive out here. And it's not the goddamn farmers who drive those implements. It's these younger generations that drive for these farmers. And I don't like that they support the farmers, but most of them are younger. Actually, about half or 3/4 of them are women. Women out here in Christmas Valley that does the number one hay and alfalfa. Well, definitely number one alfalfa on the planet. Those ladies that drive the big swathers, 60% of them are probably ladies, and most of them are pretty young, like right out of high school. And Yeah, and they make good money, and I don't want to see, and it don't matter, man or woman. I'm just saying them get run into. So I don't drive fast in this town too. Courtesy. So Kevin doing 8 over and shit. This whole thing is so crazy, guys. I thank God for this channel so much. That
yeah, I did 8 over, and there was 3 cop cars.
Kevin goes 8 under.
cops for
So
30
just so you know,
minutes.
but
25 minutes.
just so you know, guys, too.
Right.
Thanks for dropping that Cash App link. I ain't gonna try to grift you, but where is that at? Where's that damn thing? Oh, where'd that go?
8 over. No, whatever.
Where'd my receipt go? Anyways, $4,000 to bail out of jail again. So here we go. They're corporation just robbing Pastor Revelation. There's $4,000 gone. Cash. You have to pay. You notice this state, there's no bail bondsman. It can only be paid in cash. So Pastor Revelation got jacked $4,000 for running his mouth. Already taken out of my hard-earned labor. For you, America, I'll let them extort me just for you. They keep extorting my body. So if you have an extra buck or somebody you can throw $1 my way, I really don't know what I need anything. Now I just need out here, so I don't need money. The ministry's paid off. So hallelujah. It was already done. I did it myself. Father did it. Bailed myself out. Kevin didn't have to worry about going and taking stuff out of his bank. It was taken care of already. Remember the cop that bought the truck. So
Get that cancer off.
everything's taken care of. I appreciate it. But, like I said, I don't.
That shitty nanobots.
I'm an attorney now that's a public, defender. So we'll see where that goes. I got food. I got water. I got shelter. I had a little money left after the bail thing. So it's good. But if you have abundance, you want to make a donation to the ministry, I appreciate it's there. I turned off the monetization on the channel. I might have to turn that back on for a minute because there's $50 hanging out there. I don't know who gave it the $50, but I don't want them to lose it. I can turn it back on until it gets up to 100 and then turn it back off. But I don't know. I'll just leave it off. I don't want to monetize anybody. Remember, that's what it was about. It was about Donald being the last one to pay. We would break our thing, but I apologize whoever donated that. I don't know how. Some of it came through. Not too much of it came through.
Good girl. Get a drink.
AdSense, but not much. It was your guys' donation, so I do appreciate it, guys. But isn't that a blessing that Father has blessed? That I was able to self-bail out. It's on record that I self-bailed out on my release. That if I lose, don't show up, that I'll be the one. Go ahead. So it's like I lost $12,500 when Elijah didn't show up to court. So this cost me a lot more than $4,000. Remember, all my silver, all my time, all my retirement was taken because of this. What's going on, Marshall? You watching? You got my silver, Marshall? What's going on, Marshall? I want to know. Federal government, what's going on, Marshall? So I was able to self-bail out, guys. Thank you so much, Father, for giving me the means, not to have to tap into your guys' lifestyle and your guys' hard-earned dollars. So what a blessing to be here today, be out of the clink, but what a good group of guys that were in there too, needed to hear the word. 5 of us were humming in the word, one of them kind of sitting down there and just kind of listening. And yeah, it was an experience. My back is killing me. I'm almost thinking to take another gummy. I don't think I'm asleep tonight, guys. I feel like it's going to be that same night like it was after I got out of jail last time. Just hard to wind down at night. So I'm a little beside myself. I got my puppy, guys, right here with all the puppets. I'm so thankful that I have the Marcy here with us too, and Chewbacca over there, little taco puppy Chewy. We want her to be the Ecuador Chewy doggy. So we think she'd be much better in Ecuador eating tacos. And guinea pig tacos. Oh, did you say that?
Guinea pig.
Guinea pig tacos.
What do they call it?
All right. So, but I forget what the name is, which is the culture of Ecuador. So, anyways, again, brother, sister, I'm going to seek this hardcore.
Can't wait to get organic guinea pig.
Yeah, well, I have to, David. I want to know if why Adriana's car is there. Remember, I pushed hard. I knew something was going to happen. So I'm glad the rest, because that documented again, you know, Marshall knows something, and I don't care what it is that he knows, good or bad. I want to know what it is, and I know it's about my son. You know, again, I'll put on the record that, you know, went and saw Marshall. He said, hey, you know, I know somebody who knows your son or whatever, and get a hold of him potentially here. I'll call you in a week, or, you know, just, and then I call him a week later and I'm like, hey, what's going on with your son? I mean, he's a fucking Gemini is what he is. That's what I figured out. He's a Gemini. He says one thing, he does something else too. More people do that. That's what a Gemini is. So if you don't understand, I have a lot of battle on this rock with Father sends people in front of me to, you know, what's that?
I'm the second who I know is a Gemini.
Well, they flip the script on you, you know. So that's what a Gemini does. Says one thing and does another. He's a joker. Two cards, plays both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? So, and always trumps takes what you have. Correct? So I don't know. I don't want the answer that I think I'm going to receive, but you know that I've said that already in this channel. I know he's hiding something. If it's just my silver, I don't give a shit. Legally, he should be prosecuted for, you know, stealing my passport as a federal crime. So that's where he probably stepped on his own dick, you know, irregardless of what he did, for his guilt to feel if he did take the silver and it wasn't Adriana, it was one of the two. I feel that, again, to this day, me telling Marshall, I will find out someday, Marshall. You know, is that why he's related to is he related to the feds, and this is why it's not going anywhere? You know, in this case, because he's got the feds, you know, whatever they're using him, or so, I don't even know how it relates. But I know my daughter's car is there, and my son's car that was there is gone. I didn't look at it. It was on the property. Are they both there on the property? Is he holding them there, protecting them? Am I totally fucking crazy? You know, does he not want me to hold my passport because he doesn't want me to leave? Because, you know, I need some answers. He knows something, and he ain't, you know, he said he didn't talk to them. Elijah was refusing his phone call. It didn't know anything. And then ends up having my daughter's car, and my son, and then my son bought his little yellow truck to go on the road with. Go on the run with? You're going to go on the run with a yellow truck? You know, so it just don't add up. Nothing this guy says, it's not adding up. So I don't care about the silver, but I do believe in my investigation here that when I told Marshall, you know, I'll find out about that silver, that has to do with why Adriana's car is at that house, and it's not what he said. So I don't think I'm going to like the results of what Marshall knows about Elijah or what's going on with him, but there's something there, and I'm glad at the time of my arrest, again, that I was able to make it known, too, that they need to go down there, and they said they were going to look in Josephine County. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Fathers will be done. I can't overdo it. You know, like I said, I can only do what it is that is in my ability. Father is in control and has the wheel, so maybe I will get answers after this, you know. It just seems so ironic. Like I said, you know, I was sitting there today talking to those cops at the jail because they were there last time I rushed, you know, like 9 months ago. Like, how is it that, you know, I'm in here for this SWAT raid because I'm standing because my son did these hours, and here I am 10 months later in your jail and they still hadn't done nothing. But you find that a little alarming. You're a public, you know, tyrant servant, you know. Don't you find that a little alarming? We live in the same county, you know, Lake County, you know, that we both, you know, but my main concern that I was told, I mean, that, you know, this is over and over. Now my son's missing, didn't show up to trial, and under the threat of a gun, you know, and always looking over your shoulder now. That's not very fair. What they've done to my son is just completely wrong. And he has probably been more targeted than anybody in this case, massively targeted. Well, I wish you'd spit out what you said, David, you know, and don't speak around the bush with me. If you know something, please tell me. I don't hide it from me, David. Please share with me what it is that, you know, I'll let God show me the way. I mean, I'm not going to believe anything you say, so to speak, run it all through my spiritual discernment. But if there's something you know, I know the answer's not good. I don't know. I just don't get a good hunch about what it is. When Father shows me something, I don't always get those things right. But when he gives a big, strong feeling, because all evidence is starting to point to Marshall. So I'm a man that sniffs out the evidence. So I just can't. Maybe I'm trying to be biased to be a father. I just told you that
Marshall.
There's something about his name too. It's always a little bit not like that. That's not. I don't do names. You know what I'm saying? No, Marshall, not my brother. Again, I've explained this many times, guys. It's just some guy I met with candy who sold some candy my son knew to before I even knew him, because it's a small town. I'm not sure how he knew him, and Elijah knew him, and I met him through a sale. Elijah, I don't know how Elijah met him. Actually, that's interesting. What the fuck? I should know that. How does Marshall know him? How did they meet? Marshall was there when Jim blew his head off. Did Jim blow his head off, or did Marshall blow Jim's head off? I ain't mean to go there. I'm just saying, because I ain't trying to the devil's an accuser, but Marshall was trying to help my son to get away from this rapist. So I always thought I had a friendship with Marshall. I would never think that Marshall would fuck me over. I didn't do anything to him. I did see him try to help my son. Well, as far as he's like, hey, come over and cool. Okay. Like I said, you don't tell me one thing and say do something else. That's Gemini too. Marshall's being a Gemini. He's saying, "Oh, your son's refusing my phone calls, guys." As soon as I could in jail, Marshall, I believe, was telling me that my son was refusing his phone calls, or right after, like right out the gate. This is my only way that I would know what's going on with Elijah. When I have a no contact order, Marshall was his friend. See. Why would Elijah just fucking Marshall put up a wheelchair that I had to drive all the way to the other end of the state to come up with, you know, a portion of the funding to get Elijah out of jail and get Elijah the attorney that we got. You know, it didn't take, actually, whatever it is, what it is. That wasn't with the threat of a gun. That was with these hands that I was going to take Tony Carson's life. So go ahead and take my fucking Second Amendment. I'm not threatening any man. That man was a fucking rapist. Get to run around for a whole year while my son sits in fucking jail, still to this day not convicted of the same crimes that they were all involved of. A bunch of fucking, a minor child, a bunch of teenagers, you know. Father's watching all things. But I know that's for some reason, again, that, you know, Marshall has something to do with the connection to why, you know, this is where it is. It's just too, yeah, that's what's weird too. Marshall's a veteran. So that's what, see, Jim was a vet. I never met Jim. And supposedly Jim blew his head off out there because of the track chair. Hear about this crazy story, guys. You know, because this track chair, he's trying to get my son to build this fence. And my son didn't want to do it because he wanted to bring his friend over there, Tony, that he'd met or something, the guy that was buying him cigarettes. And Marshall didn't want that guy on his property. So I already knew. Like I said, and so that I knew. That's why I thought Marshall was, you know, on that side. But I see there's something else there. That again, I don't know how my son met him, but I do know that he had made a mention before. But I don't really give a crap about somebody about having some issues with the feds in the past, and I don't know what it was. So maybe it's something related to this his buddy, again, staying at his property. I never really did get the charge, but his buddy out there, was a vet, and he was a vet. They were living out there, and he ended up blowing his head off out there, and that was his wheelchair. And supposedly, I guess what I was told was that the reason maybe he had done that is because he didn't have the mobility. But kind of strange. Marshall's never really come back to this property like that. And, since this day, he's never once come and visited me. This guy's supposed to be my friend. It literally took me months of begging him to get my fucking dog back. And my dog was in horrible shape when I got him back from him. So it wasn't this, Tango's getting pampered or whatever, and he's jumping in the river and lives in the water. And there was something else going on, or, I don't know what he was doing with him, but he came back in horrible shape. His tail looked like it had been burnt, off his fucking, I was just, his chin was just, but, yeah, he's good now, but, it's okay. I don't hold that up against Marshall. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't like to be called brother because brotherhood is, different than blood, what I'm saying? So to speak, and your brothers and your sisters and your mother, somebody's a vet with no brotherhood, but somebody got your 6 without question. How about that? We'll just leave it at that. But I don't know. There's something weird. It's just, it'd be different to be wronged by a vet too, fellow veteran. It's just, he was a vet, Jim was a vet, I'm a vet. We thought we had that in common. Was trying to help out my son. And so I don't know if this guy got himself hemmed up with the feds or something, guys, and he's used this case or something. And again, I've told Kevin maybe the feds have picked my son up or something. They're going to try to use him against me or something. I don't know. There's no record. Nobody knows where he's at. And now I've brought this up multiple times. When we're at this last arrest, I mentioned, Marshall and Elijah and my daughter's car being there and his car being there. And so somebody better look into this, because again, I think it's not, there's no way it's why my son should have to be looking over his back to worry about to lose his life. If he don't remember, there's record to show Elijah has his hands in the air doing exactly what the cops, going by their instructions, asking them what now to try to make sure he's doing, because he's obviously doesn't want to get shot, and they shoot him anyways. They shoot him anyways. So this is just this whole, I can't imagine what my son's going through right now. And how the hell would my son be on record in October and go missing in September? So did Marshall have him? And he's being recorded. I'd mentioned his demeanor, because even Lady in Red would be record on this. I was quite distraught when I came back in and goes, man, my son sounds like he's kind of drab this time, and doesn't sound like, he sounds like he's been following this no contact order, and sounds like he hasn't talked to his wife. He sounds like he's been doing, like he's lonely. Like this has been a while, and imagine being separated from your wife after your wife comes to work with you 2 days a week after working 5 days a week, working 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he bought my son's vehicle, and then my son bought the vehicle that he had sold him, and then my daughter's car ends up at his house. Why would my son skip court in a yellow truck, be over on record in the courtroom, on record in October? They summons me to a court date in November for his trial, a 2-day trial, by the way, shows adequate counsel, fair in trial, and speedy. I know my Sixth Amendment, not only my own. I didn't just take an oath to this country and the people. I took an oath to the Constitution. I'm not your normal veteran. Some veterans are ate up bad. They really are. They are not true. You don't have to truly be serve any of these beast corporation, pig, disgusting, filthy fucking veteran like me. 1,000+ military bases and slaughter fucking people in other countries so you could be free bullshit. that. Vets are the worst people to ever walk this rock. If you ain't been in here before, you might get a lesson from another veteran, a pastor who pastors to these people, instead of blowing your head off like 22 vets do every day, that you stay and you keep skin in the game, and you don't be one of these people that just know what you did and went, oh shit, what I did wasn't what they saw on television, and you expose this shit in some proud veteran. You know, your veteran status is not because you serve the military. I've met people who are more of a soldier outside of the military, some that I did in and served with. And I have to remind veterans that I served right next to that I didn't fight for fucking freedom. I fought for people to fucking choose. Grow the fuck up with your pride. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't no such thing as freedom. Freedom is long gone in this country. Freedom is dangerous as a motherfucker. They don't allow nothing to go on in this country. I just had under extreme flag gun laws, they have removed my Second Amendment right and my Fourth Amendment right because of this constitutional bullshit that we served called a corporation. We didn't serve no bullshit. Everything we did was wrong. We shouldn't have one single vet outside our borders, and anybody served outside our borders, even just the system itself, is an apostasy. Yeah, so there's a little teaching on all you vet pigs that have served this beast system. You're the worst filthy thing that walks this rock right now. But hang in there. Don't go around and go, oh, the veteran, you don't get that. No, you served a beast. You served a beast. You know what I'm saying? You served a corporation. And go teach others that. It makes you feel better. And it does. It brings a calm. The PTSD goes down. And you don't think, you're like, man, the Apostle Paul was a mass murderer of Christians. And God rebuked his heart on the road to Damascus. I know the things I've done. I've been a pig, a cop, a vet, an MP. 95 Bravo in the military, above top secret security clearance. I've done shit I'm not supposed to talk about, and I talk about it anyways. So I don't serve two masters. My commander is my father. Shiloh is the one who is my, regulates, is the high priest. Yeah. Above a 5-star general. How about that? Oh, you mean the commander in chief, even above the commander in chief? I mean, which one is it, the mass murderer in chief this time? Red or blue? Yeah, you'd know if you've fallen under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's right, soldier. You better not get a sunburn. You'll get Article 15. You're government property. All right. But hey, you get paid to take a poop in the Army. So, hey, you get paid no matter what. So, all right. Hey, let me wrap this up, guys. I know I said I'll do that, but Pastor Revelation is just what I do. I truly will seek. I found a constitutional republic that I was already speaking of going to. I only plan there to farm, grow food, and live a organic lifestyle. So I'm going to seek, and ye shall find. I'm going to seek the word of the Father above all, but protective custody, or again, some way I'm going to be speaking with this Paul Palmer on Monday and see what he has to say about. I already told him this should be a video. It shouldn't be tried in this county, and it should go to Supreme Court. So this should go directly to Supreme Court. It's a massive case. So it's 5 years old and it's targeted. There's a lot of, I plan on go to Ecuador. That's why it's a constitutional republic. That's why I chose, not me, Father chose that. He wants me to go there. Father already had me interested in this place for an organic diet. I didn't go there for some politically motivated, driven reason to do anything but to find a piece of land that I have abundance amount of fruit and vegetables that I can't even get access to here, and send them back up here to the ministry eventually and distribute them within the ministry, throughout the ministry. Freeze-dried stuff could be sent all over the world. This is a worldwide ministry, remember? This isn't just your town. You've got brothers and sisters from all 180 countries. Okay, this is a worldwide ministry. So the blessings that I would be able to provide, abundance of fruits to people within the United States. I mean, could provide, but the selection there is abundant. And the food shortages are getting more and more and more. I would try to put myself where I had a better, that's the lifestyle that I teach, to be self-sufficient, grow your own. Yeah, you're a threat to the government when you wash your own tinfoil. No, just kidding. Well, no, hey, how about that, Mr. Thurnberg? Get back in the closet. All right, but anyways, that was Al Gore, right? I thought we were all going to never see snow again. So, but How's that global warming goodness work? See, I need to get to a little bit warmer climate, guys, too. My back is, I'm telling you, I know that sounds crazy, but those 3 days laying on my back, it's going to make a difference in how my back just is what it is. So, you know, I need to get more organic diet and stop feeding myself this, you know, and try to repair. I can't repair permanent damage and things like that, but I guarantee you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Your diet is everything. So I'd like to get to a place. Ecuador is a constitutional republic, guys. When I joined the military, I thought I was defending the constitutional republic. Because I was a law enforcement SWAT team and traffic reconstructionist, Highway Patrol Academy, Oklahoma City, to learn how to reconstruct and all that certain type of law. I was an investigator at the age of 19. My brain is wired completely in a reverse matter. So stop complaining. It's bad for the soul. Shut up, Rope. Get out of here. Nobody's complaining. You don't know what you're talking about. No, you're some. Get out of here with your. Hold on. Don't put soap on a rope here. Listen. Oh, all right. Thank you. That's that rape bullshit, guys. Don't listen to that crap. Difficult is the path. Hey, listen there, dope on a rope. Stop pushing your new age Reiki bull crap in here. Thalipsis. A soul. Tell me something. Give me some more of your Reiki bullshit in here, Mr. Warp Speed, with your M and all your crap. Go ahead. We'll let you spit some of your nonsense. We'll little troll. We have to feed the trolls before we go. So we'll feed you. Hey, wouldn't be like it. Ladies in red in here. You could take it out with Lady in Red.
Take him out. He's gone.
So I'm just saying, don't push that Reiki peace, Jesus, in here, all your soul. You're going to push soul. You're talking to somebody's eternal. So speak up if you got some kind of new age. Let's expose your little silly little Reiki bullshit that you push on everybody's soul. What do you know about a soul? Tell me what a soul is. Hulkadash. You know what that is? Hulkadash. Alathea. Yeah. In the beginning. Okay, so guys, difficult is the path. Difficult is the path. Narrow is the path. There's not complaining. This is called exposing and shining the light. People want to shut you up. See that? Try to take my First Amendment away from me and try to put some Reiki bullshit with some soul worship on it. Don't take your soul worship somewhere else. Get on your soul train out of town, please. Dust off and leave it behind you. Don't worry about it. Go on, move along. Nothing to see here. Look over here. Don't look over here. Gemini. All right, guys. I hope you gleaned something. I'm going on 3 hours. Pastor Revelation laid on the hard deck for 3 hours or 3 days and, nights. It's kind of biblical. So thanks for sending Brother Kevin. He had to stand out here and deal with their bull crap. And he gave him a hard time, guys. So, not like that. He just told him how it was. He wasn't going to sit there and just be nice to him, and be nice means to be stupid. So he wasn't being stupid. He did what Father, I'm sure, led him to do, and didn't make it easy on them. Didn't get in the way. Didn't
shine their bright lights on me the whole time, but I hid behind the tree.
Yeah, didn't you know what I'm saying? Didn't get in the way. Didn't interfere, but didn't just sit there and make it easy on him. So
just wanted to keep the dogs calm.
Yeah, he was I'm glad he was here, guys, because when they came in with this warrant, Kevin was smart enough to say, "Hey, coming in, guy." He made, and they didn't come out, and the dogs were good, and like I said,
for a while, but I just
the dogs did good last time too. Remember, so they stayed inside this time. The dogs. I asked Kevin. Speech becomes like, get the fuck out of here, Rope. You're an idiot. More Reiki bullshit. See, there we go. Tell me where it says that in the scripture. Hold on. Don't. My moderators are so fast, man. I can't even think. They're already out of here. You're out of here, aren't you, Rope? Tell me where it says that in scripture, or get the fuck out of here. Stop pushing your non-biblical, non-scriptural Reiki bullshit. Tell me what you're telling me, where it says what you're saying in scripture. If it's not biblical, if it's not scriptural, we don't want to hear it. You're earthly bullshit. You're just spinning Reiki bullshit is what it is. You might not even know what you're saying. You probably don't know what Reiki is, or you would already address that. If you're eternal, you would know that, but I don't think you understand what it means. I don't think you even know what eternal means. But I'll tell you what, here, dope on a rope. Go back and listen to the lesson I gave earlier about time and eternity and your little figure eight, your little warping of time that you're in here, that you think you're some kind of clock or hands on a wall. Or so tell what it is. Tell me, put it out there. Put what Proverbs 23:7 is. Put what that is. Put what Proverbs 23:7 is. Speak it out. Go ahead. You got to teach if you're going to be here. Iron sharpens iron, so using scripture. So tell me what this because that's what we do in here. Use the word. What I'm trying to remember what he said, or what was your? Yeah, just use the word. Let's see what you say with the word. For as he thinks his heart, so he is. Okay, so Jesus is not easy. Get your fucking easy Jesus out of here. Your easy bullshit fucking soul train Jesus, easy peasy, other cotton candy Christian Paul, one of two. No, there's Apostle Paul. Oh, wait, there's Apostle Paul, and my lawyer's name is Paul, and the district attorney is Paul. Yeah, take your fucking two witnesses and get your dumb shit out of here. Now you're taking words, and you're not even pitching the right Jesus. You can use the word, but unless you know what Jesus you're speaking of and what he is and what you, when he's speaking of for he thinks he in his heart, right? That's not just some easy, narrow path to the... So we're supposed to stand against this. Don't sit there and tell me we're supposed to be nice and be all cluttery. And no, difficult is the path. The ellipsis, tribulation. You pitch the other Jesus, so you know. Okay? It's not hard to expose. Yeah, you're he who thinks, thinks at least that's not believe, right? Proverbs, right? We didn't say believe, it says thinks. So that's actually a thought in your head. It didn't say believe. Take note of what scripture is telling us. Remember, and take note that Paul said there will come warning of another gospel and another Jesus. And so you can make your own version of what that word says, like dope on a rope is made, his own version. The ellipsis, narrow is the way. So if you know that things, it says not easy, he who says peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon those who call out for peace and safety. Don't think I came to bring peace on this earth. I came to bring a sword of division that will divide. Not thinks, one who believes, and that's an action word. So careful with your easy lifestyle. Paul said through much the ellipsis we must go through to receive that kingdom in heaven. And that is tribulation. So stop with your little Reiki soul bullshit and your other version of the word. You've just gave it your own spin. And he warns of people just like you, false teaching the word. There's no, see, it can be narrow without complaining. What the fuck is complaining? Okay, explain complaining then, Rope. What am I complaining about? I'm giving all glory to God. You're an idiot. You don't know this channel. You just came in here. We always give glory to God. That's what we were doing for the tribulation. But you want to come in here with some other kind of Reiki bullshit. Complaining. Let's use, where's it? Now, hold on. You take thinks and complaining. Now, what does complaining have to do with thinks? Thinks and complaining speaks, right? Speaks in by complaining. What the hell am I complaining about? I have nothing to complain about. I was giving glory. You're an idiot. Or wait, you're not an idiot because you don't know. Yeah, you don't know. You've never been here. You only came into the room. So complaining, what am I complaining about? Anybody see me complaining? I was giving glory. I didn't. We always give glory. God, you're complaining. We're complaining. What to complain about? Got my dogs here next to me. I'm out of jail. I don't have to eat jail food anymore. I went and had a burger. I was giving thanks for Kevin. You're an idiot to come in the room and interrupt. You know that? We're making an example out of you making your own word, making your own shit word.
All you're complaining about rope on a dope.
You're complaining about me before it was back in something else. No, you're complaining about you. No, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, is that
I think you're in trouble.
I can be narrow without complaining. You're complaining about me? It wasn't about you. You said I was complaining? Oh my gosh, did this get... this really go there, guys? See, this is the kind of the twisted world that I live in. Definitely another Gemini here. Oh, DB, give all glory to Father. Now, I don't understand your logic, though, okay? Rope, just seriously, you come in here and this is fun to play with the troll. I needed it. Little deprivation on sleep for only 3 hours. There was no complaining going on, but listen, this wasn't about you. How did you just make this about you? Jeff, I just got out of jail, so I don't know what was said about Russia today. So if you missed it, I've been in jail for a few days. So I wasn't even complaining about being in jail and them taking my Second Amendment away. All right, leave, Rope. You're not here. You're not welcome anymore. Thanks for coming in and let me troll you a little bit. Go get hooked on phonics or something. Work for me. So, all right, Gene. Hey, apologize. Had to make it about your brother, but we're exposing this shit. Oh, so now look at that. Oh, so you're a criminal. Yes, look. I've got 11 felonies or something right now. Hindering prosecution, interfering with a peace officer, menacing the cops.
More bubbles.
Menacing the cops. I saw Aries for a country second, for a country minute.
Trouble with the corporation, Tracy.
You're a criminal. Criminal is a fucking turn of accounting. They're dope on a rope. You don't even know what the word criminal means. All right, moderate this idiot so I can teach these people something. Get this idiot out of here. I want to learn him something.
What's Canadian corporation? When you get a minute.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Nate's going to keep us up. Okay, guys. Seriously. Yeah, the felonies keep coming. Lines like, the felonies keep coming. I love it. Hey, we're going to expose this shit, guys. Seriously. I don't want to go there, and I do, like that, because I already did if Gene knows that he's on. And Gene, I'm sure, doesn't mind like that. Whatever, Gene's got my back, I got his back. I told that man with the war with me already. He was there when I told that clown pig, that's not murder. I have the right to protect myself. I'm not Lavoy Finicum, you hear me? Leader pigs in their camera. So he went to war with me. That's why I had his back with his son, and I have proof that Gene was targeted. You can't take a child and flip their fucking parent. This man had full custodial right to this, was nice enough to give a visitation, and ends up being targeted. And that is not justification to totally flip. It was because he knew me. You know how bad I feel? That's why, whatever. I've already tried to help him on his, and it's all Father's timing. So I'm sure when that time comes again, it'll be there whenever he's ready or whatever. We've already spoken of this, but I would have his back because of me. This motherfucker lost his kid.
Rope on the dope is a fucking copsucker green bean.
So these people come in and speak these things, know nothing of this case. Don't, it's okay. We're not in here for these people. Thanks for letting me troll this, guys. But I appreciate you, Rebel, coming in here and being a part of this. I don't never meant for you to ever have to do that happen. I said it to your face. I came to your face and said, Gene, I think this happened because of me. Did I run from it, Gene? Did it? I don't mean to, whatever. I don't care. We know who you are. I've already gave you your name. So Rebel's Gene. But it is what it is. This man literally had his son fucking taken away from him, from Judge Vandenberg, because my name showed up on a police report. Because when I had my son here, was holding, I would let the police arrest him under self-defense and affirmative defense, have the right to protect him. Gene brought me fucking ice and food. And then they pulled him over and his name showed up. And I guarantee that's why his son was taken from him. There is no legal justification for Gene to have his son taken. He was the custodial parent. She custodial interfered. She set a court date and Judge Vandenberg sat there and said, no, he custodially interfered. And so I'm giving custody to her. When he was the one who was nice enough to even give her a visitation, had to get child services involved to begin with, because she said she wasn't going to give him back. He wasn't getting him back. Gene didn't abuse his kid. There was something. I don't want to go too much into the Gene situation, but he has a very unique son. And I'm not saying that I don't think he's autistic in any way, shape, or form, but, the kid needed corrected. He said something to a family member. I believe there's some blood relation, and there was just a correction. It was just a verbal correction. It wasn't, I don't believe even there was any kind of physical or anything that something got involved that the mom tried grab at some straws for some kind of abuse. It wasn't even by Gene. I don't want to give away the whole details, but it was like some other family member had said something when he was out of line. He's a kid. The kid was threatening somebody else's life. And so one of the family members is, gave him a verbal correction. If I'm not mistaken, that's not, Gene wasn't endangering his fucking kid's life. This is bullshit what they pulled to him. And it is 100% because Gene knows me and lost his kid to Judge Vandenberg. Just Gene's case is going to show that Judge Vandenberg should never operate in family law, let alone as a criminal judge in a circuit court. I 100% do believe that's once the Supreme Court looks at Gene's case that, he'll be justified. And, I don't, like I said, I don't want to over involve his case. I know that I'm hoping again that he still has some contact with his.
Maybe Rope's a marshal.
What's that?
Maybe Rope's a marshal. You just made that account. Maybe Rope is marshal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he can come in at any time too. I remember that. Where's March? So anyways, I got to give thanks for Gene still hanging out with me, even Kevin to be around me. Both these guys have already suffered for just being my friends, guys. See, I don't have any friends. Do you see why I try to live away from people? Because people, even like my son, he's like, Dad, I love you, but it's so hard to live around you. Remember, I lived with you for 17 fucking years, Dad. He didn't cuss at me, but I lived with you for 17 years. I've seen what you go through, Dad. I know it's hard. I've had to watch you, be with you. Remember, my son got charges because of me, because of my political activism. If you, I don't do politics, but it is what it is. Got set up, by what it is that I do for my YouTube channels. YouTube has a lot to do with what's happened to Pastor Revelation, brothers and sisters. It just is what it is. I've been exposing this beast since I went in the Army. I figured out it wasn't right when I got in the Army too. I was a red flag whistleblower in the military, exposed a lot of things in the military because I was a cop. So, 95 Bravo in the Army. So anyways, I just think it sucks. I tried to tell Gene, and Gene and I don't see 100% eye to eye on everything, but man, we are more aligned than any religious person I've met. He understands who Father is, and he knows the Creator, and that's, he knows who Shiloh is too. He just doesn't, he just believes in accountability, more of that old school. We're not going to get away with nothing. We're accountable. And so he chooses to be meek. Some people might call him a little weak, but he is more of a pacifist. He will avoid conflict if he can and take the beating because of it. And he took a lot of years with his wife, because I was a witness to that. I ain't trying to just call her out, but because a man could be like that, doesn't make him a weak man. It makes him a meek man. So I appreciate him. Sometimes we have to put our head down, and there are times that we have to stand up. So I think he has a good, happy medium. I'm not living in his skin, but I wouldn't want to have to go through what Gene has had to go through to not have his kid around. And I feel absolutely 100% responsible for that. So, but I did tell him to his face that I think I apologize, Gene. I don't know what else to tell you, man. For the guy to even talk to me still is, I feel very complaining. I feel very blessed, brothers, sisters. Like I said, I told Kevin after we got, bailed me out there, and Kevin, if you need
with
to go,
his own money.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well,
it was
no,
with your
that's
money. So
but
that was
no,
nice.
yeah, but no, that's the blessing. All the blessings all there.
Thank
But
God we found the money.
if you need to go, man, you don't have to hang here any longer, because he has other property, guys. He's still going to look at property in Ecuador too, and other property somewhere, anywhere but America. As I was kind of streaming, before a lot of this happened, to kind of get you guys to understand. What are you doing, buddy boy? Look at this guy. He's so content laying next to his daddy. His dad's
I was given
home.
an invitation to leave this other night.
Dad, so
I said, why don't you just
Leave. My passport, I'm gone, bud.
So, if you're still in here,
Big Farmer's got way too
brother, brother Rebel, I appreciate you standing by my side and being a soldier for God the Most High. And we've had many discussions for many hours. We know that, you know, the Father that I believe in, He creates all things. You know what I'm talking about. And so I'm sure you're not mad at me, and I'm sure that's why you know that. And I didn't mean to do anything. It's just part of the writings. And so it'll pour out a just measure. We're going to get this brought out into the open, and hopefully all rights will be wronged, you know, and everything will be justified. And but what a terrible thing to have to experience as a, you know, you guys imagine for him. And I don't mean to be pity, but for me, man, I can't even hang around somebody get their kid taken away from them. It's hard, guys. This guy's already suffering, and he ain't even been around that long because of me. Already had to be dragged down into the courts, drive 1,400 miles away, give a permanent fucking scar to his driving record, and he wasn't even speeding. Got the cop to admit he was lying, and then still gave it to him anyways. Still stuck it to him anyways. So
Guilty.
here we go, you know, again with their, you know, it is what it is. It's good that, you know, we find people like whatever dope on a rope come in here, and I don't have to say that it is what it is. You know, say I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. You know, I feel absolutely blessed, and it doesn't matter.
Tracy, he's the cop on a rope.
Yeah. It's this ministry is a blessing, brothers, sisters. I think that. So I wasn't complaining. I have nothing to complain about. You know, I really, my back hurts, but that's just because I laid on a jail cell bed, and I broke my back a couple times. So, and I don't. But I have no complaints about this ministry of this life. Father's time is impeccable. It's perfect. I question it, and I'd get thrown, as Brother Ross will often tell you, don't set any plans because Father will shake that up for you real quick. Oh yeah, I think you can get doing something one way, and Father will throw you for a little loop, won't he? So appreciate everybody coming in. We'll try to get back at this. Hopefully I'll get some sleep, but I think I'm just going to lay there again tonight. I have a sneaking suspicion, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll pass out, you know. The 2 gummies seem to be wearing off now. I'm starting to get that regular, but that's okay. I'm glad to be out of their cage and be back to be able to minister the gospel. And we just created another 3 hours of evidence that they're going to have to look at, guys. So we could pound, but we still do the gospel no matter what. Remember, that comes first. So I'm thankful for that, guys. I truly am. And this ministry has just been an absolute blessing to
You're
this.
supposed to pray us out. That was a request. When you're ready to go, you're supposed to give us a prayer on the way out.
Yeah, I don't pray. I don't have long, or I give thanks when I pray to Father. That's how I pray. I don't, at the end of the night when my head hits the pillow, let me teach you a little something about it. You want some prayer before we leave? He said, pray not like the heathen. Pray not long or repetitive prayers. I pray with Father all day. The word pray means to have face-to-face time with Father. Again, once my head hits that pillow, I don't really have much to say to Father. I've been speaking to him praying to him all day, every day. So I don't do prayers. What do you want to pray for? I pray for God's will be done. Hallelujah. What else are you praying for? God created all things. He knows what you want. He already knows what you want before you need it. Who do you think gave you that urge to need it, put you in the position to have that need or want? So please don't pray useless prayers, brothers, sisters. If I could teach you something about prayer, prayer is to have face-to-face time with Father. Have a relationship with him, please. Don't worry about saying, talking when you're having some kind of chant. Oh, no, you know, or you're in your mode. Oh, thank God. Or, you know, like, thank him for all things. Thank Father for all things. So pray to him daily, pray to him often. Not long or repetitive prayers, though. He knows what you want. If you are to pray, well, end it with the Lord's Prayer. He said, if you are to pray, pray like this. Our Father, who's not in the sky, because heaven is not above your head, hallowed be thy Shem, not Jesus, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 letters, all 66 canonized versions of the Old and New Testament. Not a name. Shem, hallowed be thy Agape. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven, and that's not above your head or below your feet. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily cross, our daily bread, our daily sup with Father when we pray with him daily, right? Give us this day our daily bread. This ministry we get to come back to, eat of the meat and drink of the milk, not watered down. Our daily bread, our daily cross, right? And give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts. Our debts. Corporation, hello. Corporation merchant number, hello. What is Pastor Revelation trying to tell you? They had a revolutionary war over 2% taxes, brothers and sisters. He turned over the money changer tables. He whipped the people. So I'm not telling you to be violent. Right? Forgive us our debts as we forgive us our debtors. Oh, why did they take that out? Because there was a 7-year Shemitah cycle of 7 years. 7 Shemitah cycles times 7 is 7 times 7 is 49. And on the year, there was a Jubilee year where they forgave all debt. The corporation doesn't want you to know that. They couldn't have all these oil wars and do all these banksters wars that are sell bullets and band-aids. Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution. Divide and conquer. What do you know? Yeah, war doesn't decide who's right. It only decides who's left. God was war. He did require war. So be careful when this prayer that they're telling you, why did they take that out and forgive us our trespasses? Oh, wait, I just had my right to take it because they insulted me, and now they just assaulted my Second Amendment right and my Fourth Amendment right. But guess what? They'll never assault my First Amendment right. They'll have to beat the heartbeat out of me to take that away from me, brothers and sisters. Oh, even when they throw me in front of their synagogues and their magistrates inside their cages, on documentation, pastors still pastoring with the people in those walls that need it. We're talking about the wheel of time and drawing the swastika, and we're doing the same study that we do out here, inside there. Nothing's changed. You think Pastor Revelation goes there and anything changed? No. 5 people today humming before we left on the word. Hallelujah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So this forgiveness of debt is replaced with trespasses because they want you to forget that Father doesn't like taxes. He doesn't, and he wants you to stand up against that. But most people will not. This is all the Lord's Prayer, whether you understand what it is that he's telling you. You might want to see what you're reading before you just accept what mammon gives you. He said, believe no man. Okay, so we'll move on with the prayer. But forgive us our debts as we forgive us our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power, now and eternally, forever. Correct? Not shalom, not amen. Okay, you can say it, but that is the Lord's Prayer. If you're to pray, I encourage you to start with the Lord's Prayer. If you cannot say it, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive us our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, now and forever. Let me cut you like a knife. My son could say that at a year old. Year and a half. By himself multiple times, a little bit is at a year. So maybe that will check your heart. I miss my son Elijah. He loves the word. He literally could say the Lord's Prayer at a year and a half by himself, because we said it every day, every night before he went to bed. Not long or repetitive prayers like he said of the heathen, but to learn the Lord's Prayer so it would be written on his heart. So I thank Father for giving me the blessing of this ministry and the blessing to teach the word through definition and through these life experiences, and that we're all here to learn together, and that we do glean from this channel, and everybody gets to take something from it. And that I'm not here for gain, so to anything other than your fellowship, and to help me sharpen the iron that he's already given me, and to make it even sharper. And I always ask you, like earlier, if you're going to come in work, you appreciate that, Rope earlier gave me Proverbs, but that's the other Jesus. Be careful. When you read scripture, you might want to define every single word. I was teaching to that gentleman, a couple of them in there, they were like very intrigued, and I know they're going to go out, and taught them about the lexicon, about stop trying to learn this whole book like a book. You need to study the word one word at a time. Find the right avenue, the right study tools, and it just comes to life. It just grows inside of you. It's easy to learn at that point. Something that you had to read 100 times to read it, and you couldn't seem to get it because it wouldn't stick. You'll read it a few times and it's on your heart. It's like riding a bike. So that's where it's at, brothers and sisters. Once he puts something on your heart, it's hard to be undone, because remember, once you've been completely overcome, listen here, pickle, there's no going back to being a cucumber. There ain't no water dipping Jesus in here. Careful. We'll come back and we'll hold you down to the fire, right? We'll put you through the brine. That's what this channel is about. It's about the suffering, right? That's what it's about. So thank you guys, brothers, sisters, for the narrow way. What a stint, 3 days, but I'm out. Thank you, Father. I had a good hamburger today. I got good company with me here. I will safe without weapon, brothers and sisters. And if they come kill me in the middle of the night, they're just martyring me. It's okay. I'm not afraid to die. Remember, death is an illusion. So I don't think in any way, shape, or form that Father is done with me yet. So remember when it says, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Your enemy will come against you one way, and I will make them flee 7 ways. Okay? Remember those 7 Shemitah cycles? Are you putting in your time? It'll be a debt jubilee someday, here near future, if you will. The redemption of the bride. They told you it's already here, brothers and sisters, in case you had figured it out. I hope you're producing fruit. The parable of the fig tree. Either don't judge them by their cover, you'll know them by the fruit. Remember, I give you fig tree parables in this ministry. Well, celestial time markers, and then scripture to give you those, to make sure you're refined like silver and gold. Most importantly, like fire, like being put in a clay pot. Just make sure you don't have any air pockets or impurities, because you'll crack and break, and it'll be vain. There'll be a 7th seal, a refiner's final fire. Oh, he's just shaping you. Don't listen to this Baal bullshit. Golden age, it's clay. That's why I bring you back to the clay. Yes, he shapes you. And then he final fire. That's judgments, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes, the kiln, baby. The final kiln. You think it's difficult now? You're just being shaped. Just like a diamond. Every look, every facet just makes you shine even brighter. Shine bright like a diamond. Not above anybody else. All right. All right. Love you, brothers and sisters. What a good time that I can smile after being thrown into jail for 3 days, and now I'm facing probably another six years of prison time, huh? We're stacking more felonies. How many felony charges we got now? I think that's 6 felony charges, guys. 6 felonies charged. 6. No. All right. Father will justify no matter what happens to me. I care or not. Even if they wrongfully prosecute me, give me crack corn, and I don't care. I'll go wherever I'm at, and I'll pastor the gospel. It don't matter. Guantanamo Bay, Venezuela. I told them, send me to Venezuela. I'll do a stint in Venezuela, because when I get out there, I won't be here in America. And I'd rather be down south than here right now. Especially before. Oh, hey, guys, please remember, I don't want to overdo it, but we are here. We are here. We made it to March, correct, guys? We made it to March. Please do not fall for this war chant. This Doge, February, is now God of War, who's been telling you they're going to go to Mars. And Mars is the God of War, okay? I want to get ahead of this longhand. I already told you. I just want to remind you, since we're here, this is going to be
In like a lamb, out like a lion.
just in your face all month long. But when the spring springs up, I believe that's when we're going to see, potentially, I don't want to pick a date, we might see our Operation Love Boat that I've been telling you, this fake rapture in the spring when new life starts. Yep, I feel pretty comfortable because remember, I watched these biblical signs, celestial markers. Do you understand what I'm saying? God of war is who? Which star is God of war? Where is Mr. Money? He's not going to go to the moon, but he's going to go to where? So they're going to shadow flag you, predictively program you, and Pastor Revelation already warned you of the God of February is Apollyon, and the God of Aleth of the Old Testament is the God of wars. Yes. So there you go, guys. So ready for seeing this in your eyes, in your ears. Nothing but war is coming. The chant of war. If it's not, it's already here. Because when you reflect the old war, you're like, well, we'll take the copper away when there's not even copper in the penny. It's just a ritual. They're doing it again. Here comes the nickel. Watch out. The nickel's going to be taken. You know, nickel, you can put in metal and make it stainless. Stainless steel, like antibacterial, microbial. Interesting. All right, we won't get all scientific on there. My brain is in some other level right now. So love you, brothers, sisters. Yeah. Yep. You guys have already been, overtaken by the beast up there lying. I know. So it's a war chant is what it is. They march towards the time when this final, they're replaying Ezekiel. I encourage you to read this is a good time to go back and read Ezekiel, guys. Please go read the book of Ezekiel the next time you have a chance. And I'm not going to point out any passage. Please read the book of Ezekiel. It'll give you a good understanding of where we're at right now. There's a lot of heavy indicators that talk about this war. Okay, you're going to find in the book of Ezekiel.
Marcy, come on, yo.
So, you take it off, man?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Fire.
Yeah, go get stoked the fire.
I'll watch you when you close down. I'll come back.
Cool. Nickel was the first chrome. There you go, David. So you see what I'm saying? Very important. War in chrome is very important. Maybe Mr. Stinky Muskrat didn't put enough, nickel in his Mr. Tesla, and that's why it started rusting, huh? The iron will not cleave with the watery clay, Mr. Stinky Muskrat. Remember where we're at, brothers and sisters. Not the golden age, brothers and sisters. We're in the age of clay. Let Father beat and shape you, please. Please stay in the word, not of the world. We're not in a golden age. That age is already past. There will be another golden age, but that doesn't happen until after a resetting of this whole fire from above and below again. Yeah, you get to be with Father. Remember, how many talents was Solomon's temple? He's going to go to his father's house and prepare a place you're supposed to be refined as gold and silver. Interesting, isn't that? So, yeah, good stuff. You guys are paying attention. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't even know that. When I was back, the other day, it was up at 29, right around that 29.50. But anyways, guys, have extra oil, please. Be a wise virgin. Your extra store should always be, again, on this channel, get a good water filter, please, personal water filter. Something you can stick in your pocket and go on the run with if you had to, like not on the run, just, grab and go, if you will. Get some extra short, long-term food storage. Please, guys, things are getting more expensive. Just these basic things will make these next days coming a little bit easier. And if you have the ability to have a little abundance, you'll be able to share with others. And that's going to be such a beautiful time, to be able to have abundance with things, resources like food. So get food oriented, brothers, sisters. I'm going to do the same thing. And that's why I have chosen Ecuador. I think Father has written this on my heart years ago too. Not the first time I've looked into this place. I'm looking for a place that has lots of good food. There's other places I've had in mind too down there. I've looked into Venezuela. I've looked in El Salvador. But again, once I had heart settled on, Father told me, because this is a constitutional republic, not here. I don't live in a constitutional republic, that I'm going to seek Ecuador. Equal door. Equal day, equal night. Hados. So narrow is the way that leads to the straight gate. So I do think that, yes, I'm going to ask to take Kevin because he is being politically prosecuted, suffering, and targeted because of me. So I'm going to ask for safe passage for Kevin to Ecuador. So he has the property right next to me. He bought the property. As soon as he bought property next to me, he started being targeted too. So I'm going to ask that the cop just threatened him to fill up his gas tank and get out of town. They're already harassing him, so, and that was on video today or whatever, when they came out here with the warrant. So for anybody who was wronged in my life, if he pours out any measure on me on a monetary value, or I could bless somebody in my way, I will do that. Like I said, I'm hoping someday to buy Gene a boat, because he wants to get away and live a meek lifestyle. And that's a good lifestyle where you can travel wherever you want to go. The oceans connect to all, land here. So, but again, blessings, you guys, for having this ministry. And every hour that we're in here, there's a lot of evidence that's being documented that they're going to have to sift through if they're going to take this to the Supreme Court. So I may settle this, you guys. Honestly, I may settle this out of court with the United States federal government, or whoever wants to step in as the authority on this, if they'll offer me a safe passage to Ecuador and a location. I need a location on where my son and my daughter's at, and I want a safe passage for them as well. I may look at halting any lawsuits against the United States federal corporation called America, and I have a massive lawsuit against the state for coming in and attempting to murder me. I think I have a very good case of attempted murder against Pastor Revelation. I haven't mentioned it, but again, it was mentioned today. I want to bring it up, that, it's brought to my attention. That's attempted murder, Tracy. You throw a grenade at somebody's face, they attempted to kill you. They came out to kill you, and it'll show that. So maybe soon these people will face attempted murder charges for throwing a grenade at my face. It's one thing to throw it in a room and concuss somebody, but it's another thing to hit somebody in the head with it. So I don't think that was a mistake by any chance. I think that officer knew exactly what he was doing, and I'd like to know who was the officer that authorized that excessive force at 45 seconds for only asking if my son was okay. So this case is going to, probably rock this nation if they open up and put this case in federal trial, put all this stuff out on. Imagine Pastor Revelation being put out onto the mainstream, not just bitten down to these 50,000 followers, but on all breaking news across the United States. It would be quite the story. It would be massive. It's going to expose a lot of things. So I may choose to stand down as far as lawsuits. If I've been offered a safe passage and exoneration of all these charges, dismissal of all charges, Elijah exonerated of all his charges, and location of my daughter. And I'll leave the country without any resistance. And as I've already said, and I don't plan to go where I'm going to do anything but they wrecked. I can't farm here anymore, guys. I can't farm here in this country safely. I can't even protect my own animals. So they've taken my right to defend my animals. My Second Amendment right has been taken from me, so I can't own a weapon, even though they haven't even prosecuted me yet. So they say for a whole year or something that I don't even know how it works after that. But I don't care about none of that. I only want to do is find a place to grow food and live an organic life and pastor the word. There's people down south that need to hear the word too down there. So they don't need to hear that all Catholics are pagans, all that. We could start slow with them down there, right? Just give them the narrow way. Tell them difficult is the path. Speak in Espanol, or give them the, but anyways, again, I appreciate you guys wanted to come and give you an update. I try to get off here, but that's just how this channel works. It's get a little long-winded, long in the tooth, but hopefully it was worth it. And again, appreciate everybody's takes the time to keep coming back. And I just feel a little not obligated to keep the channel up and going because we get new faces popping in here, probably wanting an update to what's going on. So Lady in Red, thank you for keeping the comment section. Thank you, Kevin, my brother Kevin, for keeping the ministry informed on what's going on. Again, I'm going to work with Kevin if something happens to give him kind of the controls into my platform so that if he wanted to keep the live up, you guys can, he can comment section, but he can come in here if he wants to put his face on here, or he could just put it to the side and you could just hear his voice, you know what I'm saying? So I thank Father for Kevin too, to come get me. And again, guys, too, what a blessing, what an abundance. And I don't have abundance because I don't hardly have anything, but I was able to self-bail out of jail today because I had taken the sacrifice to sell that truck that I had, to have the funding to do it. Father provided, it was the truck I wanted, but remember I settled for just having the Forerunner for now. That's a lot less, it's okay. They're both Toyotas and, so I took the lesser and it provided the abundance so Kevin didn't have to go through his bank, and I had already had money on me when I was in jail. It was generator money or whatever from the generator. So between that and what Kevin was able to get the money from the sale of the pickup, I was able to self-bail out. And that's why we're talking today. So I do have a court date on the 3rd for an update too. I do have an attorney now. His name is Paul Palmer, and he's out of Klamath Falls, Oregon. And we'll see. He's said he can take this case. He says, I have the bandwidth to do it. I know there's corruption, and I know that's very prevalent, and I'm willing to listen to your case. And so we'll see where that goes, guys. I'm excited to have somebody look at the case, but I will be requesting an immediate change of venue, and I will request that this goes to either Supreme Court or they just drop the case. If he goes to them and he's a good attorney, he'll probably be able to, say, look, you guys are in a world of hurt. This guy you really trampled on and you really overstepped your bounds. So he's throwing you a deal. You guys like to do deals, backward deals. Well, he's giving you a shot here. So, and I'll do this without, like I said, making a big, huge scene. It's not going to go away, like I said, because the evidence is what it is. Father's already seen this, but right now I already serve this country. And I can continue to serve this country if I being in Ecuador, brothers and sisters. Doesn't mean that I can't still have a ministry and still support the people that are here. I don't plan, and this ministry is paid off. I could have taken this money, got an attorney, took it and tried to get something down there, went on, try to run away, go to some other country. No, the money went to the ministry. $47,500 is what what I paid on this ministry. So Father just keeps providing abundance, brothers, sisters. So rather than get an attorney for me or even for my son, I put all my faith in God that he's the counsel here, and his final result and judgments will come even on this rock through whatever men he has judged, whatever, but he's the one making them do. And that my final judge is Shiloh. So what a blessing to have the abundance too, again, today, to have people to do that, to be a horse trader like I am, to trade in and sell up and sell the things that I do. And I don't pay taxes on this stuff, guys. And that pisses the government off too. So, but it is my money that I earned. and I earned it by the sweat of my brow, and I earned it honestly. And, you know, I'm thankful that I was able to be abundant today and bail myself out, not sit in there for any longer, because it just hurts my back more than anything. Otherwise, it was a good experience. I don't treat those guards in there like crap. I don't like them, but they're not beat cops, and I don't disrespect them, but I don't, I treat people normally how they treat me. So normally once they get me in, confinement, I don't, I just go into pastoring with the people I talk to in the air, and I don't make a whatever. I'm not like everyone. I'm already up before everybody, and I up late. You know what I'm saying? I have my own thing that I do when they put me in a cage. But I always like to share the word, and I find one or two people or something to share it with. This time I had pretty much everybody but one guy in there before I got out there. So what a blessing it was. I'm saying, to have that experience today before I got out. And those guys were going nuts in there today, guys. When Kevin came there, and they didn't bail me out right, within a reasonable amount of time, those guys in there were like going off in there, like, this is bullshit. What the hell, dude? Somebody paid $4,000 and you make them wait for almost 2 hours. They were going off in there. They were like, this is crazy. So they had to mess with me, and I tried to tell Kevin on the way out. I don't think it was so much that they had to mess with me, brothers, sisters. It wasn't so much that, what I'm saying, is that they needed this. That cop so gloated when he handed me this and said, you've been served. You've been served. So they need to get this signed before they can hand this to me. That had to go up to the judge. So they keep stepping on their dicks, guys. I don't mean to go there, but see what I'm saying? That's why they stalled me out. And those guys didn't know that. They didn't know that they were going to hand me this red flag gun law. Red flag gun law. Remember, I warned you of Trump's red flag gun law, that he could do this, and now they just did this to me, brothers and sisters. So you might take Pastor Revelation pretty seriously. When I said they could use this red flag gun law to take your guns, well, they just did it to me. Trump used his red flag gun law against me. Right there it is. Extreme risk. Extreme risk. Extreme risk. Protective order. That's what it's called. So you were warned. Hey, things happen, brothers and sisters, not by chance on this platform, eh? What a beautiful, that was for my lion brother in here, eh? So, yeah, it's all right. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I love you, brothers and sisters. I'll see you again, Lord willing. Thank you for allowing me to give you an update. Remember, Christ stood against the Halaka and Hagada. You're not Christ-like if you don't stand up to the law. Whether you're a man or a woman, I don't care your sex. It's all flesh under this covenant. We are all to stand against the perverted law. And if you're prosecuted, persecuted, so what? That's the price you're going to pay. If you don't want to do that, then you're not a disciple of Christ. You're not. Only the disciples of Christ will stand up to perverted law, because that's carrying your cross. And again, if it's in your world by saying, hey, no, we don't go to pagan parties. You don't have to do what I'm telling you. Like I said, take it to this. He poured this just measure out. When I return, he returns because he made me who I was. You know what I'm saying? As a prior law enforcement veteran. And so I don't think you were SWAT trained. I don't think I got one in the room that's SWAT trained. Anybody been special weapons and tactic trained? You ever do any underground entries in dark? You do any building entries, with night vision, any kind of, any special weapons, special reaction team training? You got any kind of building entry, any kind of how to, rappel in from the top floor, do entry training from top down training, any of this? Terrible, Lady in Red. I really like to say it's good, but it's not doing good. And I was having a lot of issues with it. And when I was in jail, because the light's on and I only have 3 hours of sleep. So it's just not, it's okay. I mean, it's there, but it just hurts a lot now. It's actually starting to be kind of like I don't even mention it, but like a headache, like a pressure again. I'm getting not pressure in the spine. I'm getting a lot of pressure in the back of my eye. Like it's, well, if you ever get hit in the front of the eye, the whole eye hurts. Your whole eyeball will hurt, but I feel like it got hit in the back of the eye this time. So kind of a weird feeling. But it does hurt like there's a pressure, but I'm getting, whatever. It's weird when things change. If a pain would stay constant with me, I could live with it, but it's a new pain that I hadn't felt. So I don't know if it's just from lack of sleep, keeping my eyes closed for too long, laying in there, because some of those guys were sleeping for 15, 16 hours. And I know guys sleep stuff off in there, but not me. Anyways, all right, guys, let me get out of here. I appreciate you asking, Lady in Red, but it's still in there. It's still in the socket. So I don't have a glass one or anything, and it does see. It's weird. And like I said, you got to imagine what it's kind of like with the robot ear and the weird sight, and the whole right side's kind of weird. And that's my strong side, guys, is my right side. So they came in and assaulted me hardcore, man, so I don't feel bad for saying that if they came here, guys, that I would shoot them to protect myself. If they didn't exercise a warrant properly, like they didn't do all these things, they could just come in here and do whatever they want. So if I stacked a new charge because of this or something, menacing or harassing, I have the right to protect myself. So not anymore. No more being secure in my house's papers, persons, and effects. Well, I'm sure glad I got God in my life, and I got the word. I let him fight all my battles. I am not anxious. I just would suck to see my animals taken down. What if some animal got on my dogs when they were out there taking a shit or something in the middle of the night? And I couldn't even. It just. They don't care about my animals either, my brother or sister. It's very important. So that's another reason why I do need to exit the country for a safe passage for my animals. Remember, I got animals in here, guys. I'm coming out, guys, please. No, they still fucking shot tear gas in here. They didn't care about the animals. So my dogs, I don't want my dogs to suffer. I just had to spend. And Kevin, to be honest with you, was very honest. I appreciate Kevin said they didn't do that good. They didn't do great. They did fine, guys, because Kevin was here, but he said they had a hard time without you. They didn't expect me to leave that day. I didn't tell them goodbye. And then they know these dogs aren't stupid. So I'm glad for honest Kevin, being honest and not just sugarcoating the shit with me. Oh, they're just fine, dude. They're fine. He said, no, Pants was having a hard time, and Tango definitely was having a harder time. They were not, why are they suffering? Because of me. See, guys, everybody suffers because of me. Even my animals suffer because of me. These animals had to suffer because of me. So I don't want my animals to suffer anymore, guys. And being in here in this country I'm going to continue to suffer. They're not going to let up on me. This isn't going to go away. I told you my life's going to be continued tribulation. So sorrows is what it'll be. But I can find some rest in a place that's a constitutional republic where I can grow food and just try to be organic. And, I don't have any political motivation for anything in Ecuador. I'm enthralled by the expats that are there, the amount of people who speak, some kind of English and operate both English and Spanish. And it being a constitutional republic, people can own a weapon there. I don't even care to have a gun there. And there's things it's in the Amazon, what I'm saying, middle of the Ecuador, but whatever. I'll build fencing. I'll do whatever I can. I don't have any weapons. So I don't want to own. I don't care about weapons. Fuck your stupid weapons. I hate weapons. I don't want to. All right. I'm starting to get some PTSD thinking about, I got to go, guys. I love you so much. Appreciate your time. Please come back when you have some more time. That's what is required in the future. If you, your teacher, here again, don't call me teacher, but giving you this, there's what the word says. Go to the book of Malachi. It says, give me 10% of your money. I don't want your money. I want your time. So what I mean by what the book says. So anyways, not so important, or worldly things is the treasure that I get here with you guys. So thank you so much for that. Okay. I treasure that beyond anything that could ever be added to any monetary account. the spiritual treasure that's given here is just absolutely amazing. So blessings, and leave a comment. Pastor Revelation's out, and he's upright, and thank Father for this ministry, and thank you guys. I'll see you guys. Hit the like button, and if you guys have any comments on where you think, just on anything, please, please feel free to comment in the comment section on anything that you saw mentioned here. Maybe a question or something. Maybe get a little more going in the comment section here soon. I appreciate you guys really keeping a lot of comments on that last video. I know it was over a few days, but I want to thank everybody who left a comment, supported me, and for Revelation get arrested. People could have said some horrible things again, and I didn't see anything like that sort in the comment section. So thank you being very fair to me, and judging me with righteous judgment too. So whatever happens in the comment section is, but I do appreciate when I got out. I read through the comment section. I was very thankful again for Kevin putting the comment, leaving that comment and giving you guys an update. Pastor Revelation cops some more charges, but then all the comments to follow to short, so much support, guys. Just reading that after I got out, of jail was you guys hold a place, with me when I'm in there. Don't think just because I was in there that I didn't forget about this ministry, guys, but I was told you when I'm not here, I was pastoring to those people that needed to hear it the most. Okay. So I miss you guys, and thank you. Again, that I'll be back again. Maybe I'll get some good sleep tonight. Good. And I'll see you guys on the next broadcast, Predestined for Light, formerly and now High Desert Faith and Truth Ministries here, out here in the high desert. I'm hoping I don't have to be here too much longer, and he will leadeth me to green pastures or greener places from here. So, all right. Thank you so much. Much agape and phileo, Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Welcome to the age of the air. Welcome to the age of the last book, brothers, sisters. Very important that you understand what you're going to see all month. Okay. They do these things by celestial markers. Never forget that. As is above, so is below. Whoa.